Hypocrisy.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Law-Splaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. How's it going today, guys? How are you doing? I am so tired. Lady Raggeds had me up all early today to hang out with the kids at a park. Who goes to parks in the morning? Who goes to parks before noon? That's an abomination. It should be shunned. Mornings shouldn't exist. But that is where I am today. And of course, we've got several different stories and things to discuss. Please, no Twitter drama tonight, pretty please. I don't think... Well, I mean, I have something from Twitter, but it's not Twitter drama. It's a tweet, but it's not like a tweet between me and someone else. So yeah, there is something from Twitter, but it's, it's just news in general. But, let's see. Homeless people go to parks in the morning to wash up and go to the restroom. Okay. All right. But yeah, so we have a little bit of that. It's been a week. It's been a week. Just in general. We've got some big stuff happening in the Chauvin trial, or the trials around them. I did a couple short videos on them today. Excuse me. I did a couple short videos on those developments today, and we're going to do a deeper dive into one of them tonight. And that is the allegations of professional responsibility violations by the state prosecutors in the case, as alleged by Tu Tao, who is the Asian officer who was standing yelling at the people on the side of the road. So there's that. Any talk on the new ATF? Come on, bitrate. Come on, bitrate. You can do it. You can do it. It's catching up. The buffering is it's going on. But it'll pass. This too shall pass. All things shall pass. But yeah, so we have we have that stuff going on. We're going to read through this motion, and I guess we'll talk a little bit about it. The other things that we have Biden just casually dropping a threat. Biden just casually dropping a threat to the entire country. So that's interesting, I guess. It's weird when Biden acts like a tough guy, because I'm pretty sure that Joe Biden was never a tough guy, ever. Like, in his entire life, I don't imagine Joe Biden ever being anything other than like a diminutive little guy. But he's talking tough, man. You got the thing and the stuff. Come on, guys. And so he's got some tough words for the U.S. I saw this weird article about Josh Hawley, Senator Josh Hawley, and he is apparently grown too much in power. He is now like a villain from a Star Wars movie. He exceeded his power, and the article The article headline is Josh Hawley's academic mentor regrets helping him achieve power. So he's grown too powerful. That's someone to watch. Anyone who has made their mentor upset that they have made it. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, even Hitler's professor was like, nah, it's fine. Everybody, just Josh Hawley, the scourge of the U.S. Senate. So that's a weird one that's going on. What? Aha. That's what I was looking for. Woo. Okay, his high school teacher. See, if he would have went to college, he would have gotten fixed. There you go. So that's something going on. And then I've got a couple REEEcism segments to do. Those are just going to be good fun. Those are going to be good fun. Fun for the whole family. A little bit of hatred of people based on skin color. But that's not what it is, right? REEEcism is something different. REEEcism is not racism. They are actually distinguishable, and there is a distinct difference between them, and we're going to take a look at some REEEcism tonight. And then we've got other stuff. We've got other stuff that we might get to. I don't know. We'll have to check. Oh my gosh. So that's a fun task ahead of us. That's the night that we have going forward. I hope you are all ready for it. Let me just set something up here on my end. Make sure everything's running. Whew. Oh, I did get a new whiskey. To try tonight. I got this Balcones Texas single malt whiskey. It is pot distilled, so it should be pretty good. Says it's the original Texas whiskey. I don't know. But it's yeah, we'll try it out. See if it's any good. But yeah. So I guess let's hit the early. There's some pre-stream chats to get to, and then we'll get going on this. Oh, I could tell you guys, I had an interview today with a multi-channel network. Multi-channel networks are always weird. Because they always do the same thing. Are you guys familiar with multi-channel networks? Can anybody here tell me what a multi-channel network actually does? Because I don't actually know what they do. And so occasionally I'll listen to them and I'm like, but what do you do though? It's so funny because so here's how it always goes. So they send me like an email and they're like, hey, we've got this network, we can really help you out. We do all this stuff for creators, but it doesn't, we work with these creators. We work with these guys. And this is a big one. This one is huge network. And like they rep the NBA, Warner Brothers and Sony. Like they're insane, right? It's huge. But they always tell me who they represent, and they always tell me that they can help me, but I never know what that actually means. And so then we do like an interview, or we do some communications, and they start telling me what they actually do, but it's still this vague stuff. It's like, oh, we can help boost your viewership. It's like, well, but how though? And they're like, well, through some other stuff, through like coaching and thumbnails. And I'm like, oh, thumbnails and channel art. Okay, I guess if I had thumbnails and channel art, maybe then people would watch my videos. I guess I've been doing it wrong. I don't know. And so then it always comes down to, okay, so what am I doing for you? Like, what is this? And it always comes down to this thing where it's like, well, in exchange, we take X% of your revenue. And I'm like, whoa, whoa. Let's pump the brakes here a bit. Let's pump the brakes here. The overwhelming majority of my revenue comes from the super chat function. So how on earth do you guys justify taking a portion of revenue from super chats to like help me with growing the ad thing? And they're like, oh, well, like how much? And so I show them the breakdown. I'm like, it's like 85% super chats versus ads. And they're like, oh, 'cause they never actually know. They never actually know like what, like how my channel performed, which is weird because like you could find out if you look or whatever. But so then they're confused. And so, I always ask them that question. I'm like, well, why would I give you any of my money at all? But my favorite thing was, today they're super nice. Don't get me wrong. Of course they're super nice, right? It's a sales team. And real quick, let me tell you how they do this. So YouTube pays out through AdSense on like the 21st of every month. Bam, bam, bam. 21st of every month. Like, so all of the money that I made in April will get paid to me on May 21st. And then all the money I make in May will get paid on June 21st. And so I'm like, okay, so if we did this, does that impact like the timing of payments? That's what I need to figure that out. And they're like, well, you get paid on the 15th of every month with us. But if you like hypothetically signed up today, your next payment would come on July 15th. And I'm like, huh? Because they would claim the rest of this month, which doesn't make any sense. But so I just have to skip like 2 months of pay and then I guess get a huge check. I don't know how that works. And I'm like, I don't like this. Okay, but so that's the one thing they do. So they take the income from Google and then they take their share and then they pay you. But there's a 30-day delay on doing it. So it's like, wait a minute. So then instead of being just delayed the 1 month, you're delayed like 2 months on your income, which is sketchy as hell. And as the Machinima people found out, like if Machinima goes under, you don't get anything. You don't even get your channel back or whatever. So that's fun. So then they're like talking to me about some of the stuff they do, and they're like, well, we have like we can create some art for your channel and do all this stuff. And then they're like, some YouTubers are out there and they spend like they could spend $300, $400 for someone to create banner art for them or whatever. And I'm sitting here running the math. Now, granted, it's my lawyer math, right? It's my lawyer math. And I'm like, okay, I'm doing the math on the cut that you've talked about being the cut. And that is way more than $300. And not only is it more than $300, that would be every month that the cut happens. And I'm like, why wouldn't I just pay $300? Can I just do that? What the hell is this? It's insane. So I'm really curious. I always like to see what they come up with and like what they, what the offer is. I don't have an official offer yet, but it'll be interesting to see. So far, they're super nice, but I'm not sold on it. Mmm. Mmm. Ooh. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's delicious. Mmm. Mmm. Wow. Oh, that's good. That's good stuff. I like that. So anyway, it's always interesting to see what sort of schemes people have to get your money, right? Like that's always the how are you trying to get I feel like I feel like the skeptical black guy in the movie, right? Wait, how you trying to get my money? How you trying to get my money? Like I feel like that character all the time. And then the other thing I'm always wondering, I'm like, how in the shit are you going to connect me to advertisers? Have you seen one of my live streams? You want to know how I have like no advertisers, except I am happy to announce I have signed an ad deal with Ridge. And I don't have a wallet handy, but I do have this Ridge knife. We're not doing an ad right now, but there will be some sponsored shows coming up in the near future from a company that I actually like and that doesn't care what I say. So Ridge has always been good. And guess what? The offer code for Ridge is NOSE. So NOSE is the discount code for Ridge wallets. And when we get to those, I just signed up the agreement today, so we will when we get those, I'll show the knife and the wallets and all that stuff. They have some really cool stuff. They really do have nice stuff. I legitimately travel with the travel backpack every time I fly, and it's a good product. So we'll be talking about that. But so anyway, going back to the MCN, I'm like, how are you going to hook me up with advertisers? Because the first time I'm like, and by the way, the cuck cleans up after the bull, they're going to be like, no, I'm sorry. Pull the ads. Pull the ads. Can you pull the plug? Can you just kill him? Can you please kill him? We just put our brand on that. That's never going to happen. Not for me. That is a full stop hard condition on any ad that I do is they can never ever offer to limit what I say. I am fully happy to endorse good products. However, the caveat of that is they will always have to abide by the rule that I say whatever the fuck I want, and they do not have a right to tell me otherwise. So that's so anyway, that's just how it goes. Is the code the code is NOSE in all caps. It probably already works because I think it's set up. But like I said, this isn't actually a Ridge wallet ad right now because I have a sort of pseudo script with some points I have to hit, like some features. Like I got to talk about Father's Day and stuff because it's a Father's Day campaign. So, this isn't an official ad. It's just an announcement. But anyway, so yeah, I'm always wondering, I'm like, how are you going to hook me up with any advertisers? Because I say the unpopular things pretty frequently. So I don't know. Sell advertising space on my nose. No one can afford that much real estate, buddy. Ozymandias. I hate that flag so much. And I hate the idiot who hung it for hanging it crooked. I know they're out of stock on the knives. I saw that. It makes me really sad. But it is a cool company, and Ridge is the MCN. They seem nice. I really have never seen the benefit of an MCN. I know a couple people I know are in them, and they think that they're helpful with some things. So I don't know. I haven't seen it yet, but I also haven't seen their offer. So maybe they'll blow me away. If not, we're going to talk about it. That's one thing I always try to do, is be pretty transparent with what's going on in the show. And hopefully we can always get a laugh out of whatever that is. If we can always laugh at the end of the day, that's the trick. Okay. Some pre-stream chats that came in. Wolfgang Deo says, so we are halfway through Malcolm X in film class. This one gal, police brutality believer, was extremely rude to me a week ago. Next week is gonna be fun. Okay. The Dragon's Treasure says Biden could use some tranquility. And the Dragon's Treasure also said, what did the lawyer name his daughter? Sue. Also son, I think. So there you go. All right. Let's see what else we have here. There was oh no. I can't see who sent that. Who sent that one? Where is it? Oh, it's from Nick's Hex. Says, this offer from Madcast Media Network is a good opportunity for you, Nikki. Right now is the perfect time to scoop up as many mad bucks as you can while the market is down. Oh, yes. Yes, the ultimate in podcast networkery, the Madcast Media Network, where every single show went to die. God, I feel so bad that people joined that Madcast Network, because man, that must suck. Tall Skinny Geek says, is the code nose, or nose? Like I said, it is nose in all caps. Thank you for asking. And apparently it is active. And real quick, being sued by Ray Gordon, still no news, still no lawsuit, still no response from Ray Gordon's alleged attorney, either by phone or by email. So too bad. And then finally, Buttworld's Man says, daily reminder that Trump is a fascist, Nazi, Gestapo, communist. Also, come on, man. The rule is simple. Be sure to get your vaccine, or else, choice is yours. If you don't like it, vote for the other Biden. What, Jill or Hunter? I don't know which one it is. Okay. Let's get into this Chauvin thing. I've rambled on pretty much enough. I mean, I could always ramble on more, and I probably will as we get going. Okay, so brief background on this, if you're not 100% familiar. This is from Officer Tao. Officer Tao is the shorter Asian officer who is the other veteran of the force, right? King and Lane were the younger officers. Chauvin and Tao came to assist, and they were the more experienced veterans. Chauvin being the senior officer, Tao being next in line. And Tao is the guy who was standing. He was not kneeling on Mr. Floyd in any capacity. He was standing nearby, telling the crowd, "This is why you don't do drugs, kids," I think was the line that is attributed to him. So that is who we're talking about here. And his lawyers have made a fiery accusation against the prosecution in this case. Why am I so low? Is this my fault? Yes, is the answer. There we go. Is he wrong? No, he's not wrong. This is why you don't do drugs. But that is just a quote that he's known for. So this guy's a prick if he said that. Vladimir, he's a cop. The odds of him being a prick are off the charts. They're off the charts. That's, yeah. All right. Okay. Mr. Bentham says, did you bring up the FUTA question when talking to the MCN? That's a deal breaker if chat's not allowed to ask. No. I have not brought up these speech things yet. We'll see what they have to say. That's a good whiskey, man. That is really good. Okay. Here is the notice of motion in motion. So please take notice that at the next available hearing, Mr. Tao herein, will move the court for a factual finding that the testimony of Dr. Baker was directly and indirectly coerced by the state and its agents, and for any and all appropriate sanctions resulting from the ratification of said coercion by the state. All right, Lance, stop spamming. Jesus. Like, seriously, the only thing that you have to do is not spam. That'd be great. Okay. So yes, Dr. Baker is the original medical examiner. And the main theory of this is that in his preliminary report, he said he found no physical evidence of asphyxiation or strangulation. And in that report, he had not watched the video yet because he didn't want to bias his physical autopsy. So after that, some phone calls were made, and then after the phone calls were made, suddenly in the final report, asphyxiation was included. So here we go with this. Let's take a look at what happened here. Factual background: Dr. Andrew Baker, Hennepin County medical examiner, conducted an autopsy of George Floyd on May 26, 2020. On Tuesday, May 26, 2020, Dr. Baker met with prosecuting attorneys to explain his findings from the autopsy. Dr. Baker conveyed that the autopsy revealed no physical evidence suggesting that Mr. Floyd died of asphyxiation. Mr. Floyd did not exhibit signs of petechia. I don't know how to fucking pronounce that medical term. Damage to his airways or thyroid, brain bleeding, bone injuries, or internal bruising. So he had none of that. That was the original. On Friday, May 29, 2020, the complaint stated that the full report of the ME was pending, but that the preliminary findings revealed no physical findings that support a diagnosis of traumatic asphyxia or strangulation. At some point prior to June 1st, so we're talking a period of 2 days, 3 days, Dr. Roger Mitchell, former medical examiner of Washington, D.C., read Dr. Baker's preliminary findings. Petechia. Okay. There you go. It's a petechia. Don't touch my petechia. Tell you what, unless I ask you to. So the former medical examiner of Washington, D.C., he read Dr. Baker's preliminary findings. Dr. Mitchell spoke with Dr. Baker before Dr. Baker finalized his findings on June 1st. During the conversation between Dr. Mitchell and Dr. Baker, the following transpired. Now, this is the problem here. Notice we're at C Exhibit 1. Exhibit 1 is not available on the Minnesota filing website. Exhibit 2, 5, and 6 are. 1, 3, and 4 are not. So I don't know what's in Exhibit 1. We can't look at it. They quote from Exhibit 1, but I don't know what it even is. But apparently, Exhibit 1 has some sort of information in it. Who knows? All right. Dr. Mitchell spoke with Dr. Baker before he finalized the findings on June 1st. The following transpired. Dr. Mitchell, quote, called Baker and said, first of all, Baker should fire his public information officer. Second, then Mitchell asked Baker what happened because Mitchell didn't think it sounded like Baker's words. Hey, man, what's going on? This doesn't sound like you. This doesn't seem right. What happened? Did somebody else write this? What's going on? What's going on here? Baker said that he didn't think net compression played a part, ... Over the weekend, Dr. Mitchell thought about Dr. Baker more. After the phone conversation between Dr. Mitchell and Dr. Baker, Dr. Mitchell decided he was going to release an op-ed critical of Dr. Baker's findings in the Washington Post. Dr. Mitchell first called Dr. Baker to let him know. The following transpired. So he says, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be friendly and write an op-ed saying why this guy is a quack. And as the former medical examiner for Washington, D.C., this would be someone whose word probably carries some weight in the community, in the medical examiner community. That's who we're talking about here. But then he says, well, before I publish this, I'm going to call and let him know. Right? That's what we need to do. Dr. Mitchell called Dr. Baker first to let him know that he was going to be critical of Baker's findings. In this conversation, Mitchell said, you don't want to be the medical examiner who tells everyone they didn't see what they saw. You don't want to be the smartest person in the room and be wrong. Said there was a way to articulate the cause and manner of death that ensures you are telling the truth about what you are observing and via all of the investigation. Mitchell said net compression has to be in the diagnosis. Following these two conversations on Monday, June 1st, 2020, the Hennepin County Medical Examiner issued a press release report containing the final autopsy findings. The final autopsy findings included net compression. This was contrary to Dr. Baker's conclusions before speaking with Dr. Mitchell twice. On November 5th, 2020, the state met with Dr. Mitchell. The following prosecutors were present: Lola Velasquez Aguilu, Joshua Larson, Matthew Frank, Aaron Eldridge, and Corey Gordon. Paralegal Dion Dodd was also present. If this interview was recorded, the audio has not yet been disclosed to the defense. Dr. Mitchell told the state that a friend of his had posted the op-ed on Facebook. The state memorialized that Dr. Mitchell was going to send them the op-ed. So apparently he didn't publish the op-ed, but a friend put it up on Facebook. Whiskey. The defense has yet to receive any copy of this op-ed. I wonder if anybody knows where this op-ed is. I wonder if anybody's got it. The November 5th, 2020 memorandum was not disclosed until February 3rd, 2021 to the defense. During Dr. Baker's testimony, which by the way is a bit of time. 3 months of time on this. Good job. During Dr. Baker's testimony in the case of State versus Chauvin, Dr. Baker testified to the following: that he conveyed to the state on May 26th in a meeting that the autopsy of Mr. Floyd showed no anatomical evidence of asphyxiation. The official transcript is not yet available, so please check out this video. That he previously testified under oath in other proceedings regarding the death of Mr. Floyd. See Sealed Exhibit 3 and 4, noting that relevant portions of the transcript have been marked for the court. During the State versus Chauvin trial, Dr. Fowler, the defense's chief medical expert, testified that in his opinion, the death was undetermined. 8 days after the testimony of Dr. Fowler in the State versus Chauvin trial, Dr. Mitchell wrote an open letter to Brian Frosch, the Attorney General of the state of Maryland, Allison W. Taylor, the Director of the Department of Health for the state of Maryland, Merrick Garland, United States Attorney General, and Rochelle Walensky, Director of the CDC. The letter was highly inflammatory of Dr. Fowler's medical expertise and his professional opinion. The letter called for the immediate investigation into the practices of the physician, as well as the practices of the Maryland State Office of the Chief Medical Examiner while under his leadership. The letter also stated that an opinion that Mr. Floyd's death was undetermined is outside the standard practice and conventions, and this stated opinion raises significant concerns for his previous practice and management. The letter demanded, among other things, that Dr. Fowler's medical license be investigated stemming from his testimony. Less than 24 hours after receiving the letter, the Maryland Attorney General's office announced that there should be a review of all in-custody death reports produced by the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner during Dr. Fowler's tenure. And the footnote says, in-custody death reports under former Maryland medical examiner to be reviewed after he testified Chauvin did not kill George Floyd, from the Baltimore Sun. There is no discovery disclosed condoning Dr. Mitchell's intimidation and coercion. This includes no documentation that the state reported Dr. Mitchell to the pertinent medical boards for his behavior and potential criminal activity. So that's the facts. That's the facts. Now we're going to get to the argument as to why these facts matters. Fact lives matter. Or something. The state, specifically prosecutors Lola Velasquez Aguilu, Joshua Larson, Matthew Frank, Aaron Eldridge, and Corey Gordon, know that a potential expert witness had coerced the state's main expert witness / the only expert to perform the physical autopsy in the case of State versus Tao. The state did nothing in response to this coercion. Instead, the state knowingly allowed Dr. Baker to take the stand in State versus Chauvin and testify to coerced statements. Under Minnesota Statute 609.27, Subdivision 1-3, Dr. Mitchell's conduct meets the elements to be found guilty of committing the crime of coercion. Dr. Mitchell orally made the threat to unlawfully injure Dr. Baker's trade unless Dr. Baker changed his autopsy findings. Dr. Mitchell told Dr. Baker to include neck compression in the final findings and warned Dr. Baker he was going to publish a damaging op-ed in the Washington Post. After Dr. Baker changed his findings, Dr. Mitchell did not publish the op-ed. Moreover, Dr. Mitchell unlawfully injured Dr. Fowler's trade by penning an open letter which resulted in an investigation into every death report in Maryland during Dr. Fowler's tenure. Now, some brief comments on this. The Dr. Baker stuff sure rings of coercion. The Dr. Fowler stuff, I mean, writing an open letter is something you can do. And we don't have any evidence that he threatened Dr. Fowler in an attempt to coerce him into changing his story before publishing the open letter. We just see that he did an open letter. The open letter I don't see as in the same ballpark as what was done to Dr. Baker. However, the problem with the open letter for Tao, not for Chauvin, because for Chauvin, he had already testified. The problem with the open letter for Tao is that now other doctors may be hesitant to testify in the other three officers' cases on their behalf because they've seen what will happen if they do. Dr. Mitchell will try and bury their careers. So there is as far as Chauvin goes, there's a difference between what happened with Dr. Mitchell or Dr. Baker and Dr. Fowler. As far as Tao goes, both of them feed into this. But remember, this is filed in Tao's case. Rick Scott, it couldn't have been a threat unless he previously, remember, he wrote this open letter after Dr. Fowler testified. So he couldn't have impacted Dr. Fowler's testimony absent us finding out that he had talked to him and said and threatened to write the open letter. We don't have any evidence of that at this point. But what it does do is it again taints the cases against the other three officers or potentially Chauvin on a mistrial. This is nasty stuff. But I just want to be clear that there is a difference between the treatment of Dr. Baker and Dr. Fowler. Dr. Baker got spoken to prior to testifying, and he got the compromised testimony into court. Dr. Fowler's testimony was not compromised because the threat, the coercion, the intimidation happened after the testimony. So that makes it applicable to the next cases, if that makes sense. Dr. Mitchell has set the stage that he will threaten the trade and professional reputation of any physician who suggests that Mr. Floyd's death could be labeled as undetermined. See Exhibit 5, stating that an opinion that Mr. Floyd's death was undetermined is outside the standard practice and conventions, and this stated opinion raises significant concerns for his previous practice and management. Dr. Mitchell also penned that if forensic pathologists can offer such baseless opinions without penalty, then the entire criminal justice system is at risk. Which, ironically, his corruption here is putting the criminal justice system specifically at risk. They claim it was after, but you don't believe that? What don't you believe? The testimony occurred, and then the letter came out after. I'm having trouble with that one. Dr. Mitchell has essentially stated that any medical expert who wants to testify that Mr. Floyd's death could be undetermined should and will face penalties by him. Dr. Mitchell's accusations and spurring of legal fallacies creates a chilling effect for Mr. Tao and violates his due process rights in that it has become extraordinarily difficult to find medical experts who are willing to state that Mr. Floyd's death was undetermined in fear of their professional reputation and licensure. Now, here's the problem with this argument. No, Brad, I'm asking you to trust the order of facts that actually occurred. Like, the nature of an open letter is that the letter is open. And so Dr. Fowler did testify. And then after that testimony, the open letter came out. Now, it is possible that Dr. Mitchell spoke with Dr. Fowler and threatened him, but they haven't alleged it because they don't have evidence of that. That certainly could have happened. I'm not putting that past Dr. Mitchell because he was willing to do it to Baker. However, there's nothing supporting that allegation at this time. Okay, but here is the mitigating argument here, right? It's possible they can't find any medical experts willing to state Floyd's death was undetermined because no one believes it. That's a possibility. They haven't talked to anybody who is willing to say that. Not because they're scared, but because they don't believe it. And there are plenty of doctors who obviously do not believe that the death is undetermined. 5 of them testified in this trial. But that doesn't mean now the problem is we can't know. We can't know if they don't want to testify because they don't believe it or if they don't want to testify because they're at fear for their reputation and licensure. So But the problem is, and this is not a criticism, don't get me wrong here. I'm not criticizing their inability to make this case. I'm saying the problem with the scenario in general. This is a conceptual problem with these types of allegations. And this is why the courts disfavor anything that can look like a chilling effect, because the chilling effect is often hard to find. That's the purpose. It's a chill. No one wants to talk about it because the threat is so big. So I'm not criticizing the argument. I'm pointing out one of the conceptual problems with making this type of argument and why it's so difficult. The state has yet to disclose relevant information it has regarding Dr. Mitchell's actions. Missing records include, but are not limited to, Dr. Mitchell's op-ed, communication on how and when the state connected with Dr. Mitchell, records on when and why the state determined they would no longer use Dr. Mitchell as an expert opinion, and any audio recordings of conversations between Dr. Mitchell and prosecutors. The state is required to disclose these materials to the defense under this court's discovery orders. Disclosing such materials would determine whether Dr. Mitchell was a state actor/agent when he threatened Dr. Baker and or Dr. Fowler. This material would also determine whether the state violated Mr. Tao's due process rights under State v. Beercroft, finding that county attorney engaged in substantial interference arising to error when they emailed a medical examiner for the defense, stated that they were disturbed by her potential testimony and would be withdrawing their support of her, and thus limited the defense's ability to call now reluctant witnesses to testify. So they have a case on point, very similar here. But what they have to do is tie Dr. Mitchell's actions to the state itself. And that's going to be the tough thing. That's why they're demanding the hearing on this. They want to put people under oath. They want to examine them. They want to ask them questions. They want to get them testifying about what happened. The state violated this court's discovery orders and the Minnesota Rules of Professional Responsibility 3.8D when it failed to timely disclose the November 5th, 2020 memorandum and any related to date undisclosed materials because they may have contained evidence of witness coercion of the primary medical experts for the state and the defense. These materials negate the guilt of Mr. Tao because they show that the only medical examiner who performed Mr. Floyd's autopsy and determined his cause of death was coerced into changing his findings. Prosecutors have a duty as ministers of justice to see that justice is done rather than merely obtain a conviction. And unfortunately, prosecutors have forgotten this on many occasions. Many occasions. Prosecutors have forgotten this. Let's see. The Minnesota Rules of Professional Conduct make supervising attorneys, such as Mr. Keith Ellison, Mr. Matthew Frank, and Mr. Neil Katyal, responsible for the actions of other lawyers and also of non-lawyers they employ, retain, or associate with. This applies to both non-lawyers within a law firm or prosecuting office and those outside the firm. A lawyer is responsible for another lawyer's violation of the rules if the lawyer has knowledge of the specific conduct and ratifies it. Supervising attorneys are responsible for the conduct of non-lawyers if they either order or ratify the conduct, or if they have knowledge of the conduct at a time when its consequences can be avoided or mitigated, but fails to take reasonable remedial action. Since Dr. Mitchell told the state about his coercion, the state has taken no public action to mitigate the violations of those within their supervision and control. So in response to the state's knowledge and ratification of Dr. Mitchell's coercion and Dr. Baker, the defense moves the court, or coercion of Dr. Baker, the defense moves the court for an order dismissing the charges against Mr. Tao as the sole medical expert who performed the autopsy's findings were unlawfully coerced. Or in the alternative, any and all of the following. So, dismiss the charges. But if you won't dismiss the charges, all of this stuff. An order requiring the state to disclose all materials relevant to the hiring, contracting of Dr. Mitchell any and all audio recordings of Dr. Mitchell, any and all communication with Dr. Baker on his reasoning for changing his factual findings after speaking with Dr. Mitchell. A factual finding that Dr. Mitchell coerced Dr. Baker. Factual finding that Dr. Mitchell coerced Dr. Fowler. Factual finding that the state ratified the coercion of medical experts. An order barring the following prosecutors from participating in the trial of State versus Tao: Keith Ellison, Neil Katyal, Lola Velasquez Aguilu, Joshua Larson, Matthew Frank, Aaron Eldridge, and Corey Gordon. A complaint to the Minnesota Lawyers Professional Responsibility Board and or to the Supreme Court / Professional Responsibility Board of the state in which the ratifying attorney is licensed. In the alternative, Mr. Tao moves this court to require all those responsible to self-report to the appropriate governing bodies. An order requiring the state to report Dr. Mitchell to the appropriate medical boards for his ethical violation. An order preemptively removing all potential jurors from sitting on the jury if they acknowledge in voir dire they saw, read, or have knowledge of the open letter or op-ed penned from Dr. Mitchell. So there you go. That is the document there in regards to this case. Very, very explosive accusations. If true, big if true, but it's also a big if true. So that's the tough thing. They do have to prove this out. Now, personally, I don't think there's a lot of hope for them being able to get this motion through. Maybe they're able to pull the motion in on appeal, but it'll be interesting to see what they present. In the interest of completeness, here is the response from the state. Although this is exactly what you would expect the state to say when faced with these allegations, because when you go ahead and accuse the state of wrongdoing, even when it's obvious, this is what they always say. Dear Judge Cahill, this afternoon we received Defendant Tao's motion for sanctions. The bizarre allegations offered in support of the motion are false and wrong, and we intend to file a complete response. The state respectfully requests that the court give us 1 week to file a response. So that is their request here. Now, speaking from personal experience on how the state handles their interactions, I was doing a case in a small town, and the law firm, this is a civil case, the law firm for the town, and it involved a foreclosure dispute, okay? The law firm for the bank that held the mortgage also happened to be the law firm for the city. The city contracts for the legal work of the city with this law firm. Now, amazingly, at some point, during this dispute over the foreclosure, where my client had the home foreclosed upon them, but they were still living in the home. And the city electric company decided to just turn off the power, which I don't know if you know this, but if you're a landlord and you haven't actually evicted someone in Minnesota, you cannot turn off the power or the water. You can't do it. Like, the electric company could if the person is responsible for paying it and they don't make the payment. But if you are the landlord and you pay the electric bill, you don't get to have them turn it off, because that is a constructive eviction. So to get an eviction in Minnesota, you got to go to court and you have to get permission from the court to evict someone. If you don't have a court order, you can't just evict. That's part of the landlord-tenant law in Minnesota. A foreclosure in which the person holds over and stays in the property after the foreclosure is actually treated the same way as a landlord-tenant action. So, long story short, the landlord, being the bank that foreclosed on the property, turned off the power to try and force my client out of the home. I call the power company. And I say, bruh, turn the power on. And they're like, no, we won't without the bank's permission. And I was like, did you consult your attorney on this? Because I'm about to sue the city. And they're like, well, the attorney is so-and-so. And I'm like, yeah, I know who it is. That's also the attorney for the bank. Did you seek independent counsel? Well, no. Did you talk to the attorney about this? Well, yeah. So the attorney for the bank, who also is the attorney for the city, told you you could do this, which is in the interest of the bank, but not the city, and you didn't seek an external opinion from a lawyer who's not involved in the ongoing case. Yeah. So I put this in the motion and I call it out. And I got the exact same response from the attorney. Whoa, whoa, whoa. These allegations are crazy town. I'm like, I'm talking to the motherfucker on the phone who talked to you, you jackass. He told me that he talked to you. They're like, no. These are, I don't know why Mr. Rekieta would put this in the motion. 'Cause it's the truth, asshole. Oh my God. I dislike government attorneys. And they all respond the same. They always do this. Prosecutors will do the wrong shit all day long because prosecuting is lawyering on easy mode. You have the resources of the entire state behind you. You don't have the same rules of procedure that you have to follow in civil procedure. You barely have any rules at all, and everything is done as a mechanism of the state. Oh, and by the way, half the time, you literally work in the same hallway as the judge when they're not in chambers. You have every advantage conceivable. And they still cheat. And I don't think they're even trying to cheat. I think it's literally that they're just so used to having everything go their way that they're like, when it happens, they're like, yeah, of course I can do this. Who's going to stop? Why would anybody stop me? What do you mean I have to disclose stuff to the other side? What do you mean? What do you mean I can't lead the witness? What do you mean I can't cite a case the day of the hearing that wasn't in any motion paperwork? What do you mean? What are you talking about? What do you mean I can't cite unpublished opinions without giving 2 weeks notice to other counsel? What? This is how the government always acts. They always act this way. Oh, Wolvenar, we ended up resolving that case before that issue got to the judge. We resolved that one outside of the courtroom. Matt the Beast says, just checked, and unless I missed something, since the Wicked Evil People stream last Friday, you still need to check out Gay Punk Trash Can Copycat Kid, who is in fact real, and unless I'm mistaken, was the first teaser for the anniversary series. Oh God, the Captain America. Oh God, no. Tom Bullis. No, I've not talked to Sydney Watson. So anyway, and I will say we got a pretty favorable result in that foreclosure case, but I can't discuss the details of it, unfortunately. But it's a good one. It's an interesting case. It's very weird. Very, very weird case. So that's the state. But anyway, we have to see what the state of Minnesota is going to say without being able to examine the exhibits that are actually put forward because they're sealed or not available for whatever reason. I can't know where they got this information about Dr. Mitchell. That is the big question. Where did they get this info? How did they find out Dr. Mitchell called Dr. Baker? We don't know what they're citing to there. Very, very messy shit. Okay. Let's do this one, I guess. Let's move on from this lovely subject. So here is Joe Biden. Here's Joe Biden. The rule is now simple. Get vaccinated or wear a mask until you do. The choice is yours. That's not a choice, you fucking fascist. That's the opposite of a choice. It's the literal opposite. This is all right. I have to say this. YouTube requires a contravailing statement when you talk about the coof. So here's my required contravailing statement. Required by YouTube that I say this. You should listen to the qualified experts' advice surrounding anything involving vaccines and epidemics and pandemics. And then you should take that advice to heart when making informed medical decisions for your own benefit. There you go. I am not in any way advocating that any person act in any particular way. In fact, I don't actually care what you do. If you want to get vaccinated, great. If you don't, that's on you. If you want to wear a mask, great. If you don't, that's on you. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I am not a medical expert. I would never suggest anything of the sort. I am but a humble commentator. However, I do have a response to Joe, and I'm going to expand on that response in just a moment. My response on Twitter is eat shit. This is a coercive abuse of government power. It implicates free speech, expression, travel, and association. You are garbage. Let's briefly talk about this. Something that has not been explored fully in America is simply what even is a mandate in regards to the Constitution. And these are really big questions. If you notice, they have tried to do everything they can to make to mandate the poke. They haven't officially mandated it, but what they're trying to do is make it seem mandatory, right? And they've talked about things like a poke passport, for example. And poke passports back in simpler, humbler times were just, a license to go to Drexel parties or whatever. That was your poke passport. But now it's apparently your license to go anywhere. They've tried to imply it, but they haven't done it. And there's a real reason that they haven't done that. That probably goes a little bit far into the rights part of the Constitution. That little part of the Constitution that we care about, with the rights involved, that little thing that the government hates. They love the powers. They love powers. They hate rights. And so they love focusing on the first half of the Constitution, not so keen on the amendment side of it. And so they have done everything that they can to imply a mandate, but they haven't done it. Now, they did have a mandate for masks on federal property, but that's as far as the federal government could go. The state government went further and said masks all over the place. Some states said masks indoors and outdoors. Some state, like I think Hawaii, you have to wear a mask in the ocean or whatever. Some states, like South Dakota, didn't do it at all. Even this has not been fully tested. the way we would want to see a mandate actually receive scrutiny. We have not seen anywhere where a mandate has been subject to a legitimate, qualified constitutional challenge based on the idea of speech, expression, and association. We haven't seen this. As far as I'm aware, we haven't seen it. And the idea is if wearing a mask is a political issue versus a health issue, and it can be both. If it's both a health issue and a political issue, if it is political, then the requirement to wear it and then the choice of wearing it or not become issues of expression. And they curtail free speech and free expression if you take away that choice. So then the question is a mask mandate subject to a rational basis constitutional analysis, or is it subject to a higher level of scrutiny, such as strict scrutiny for impacting an enumerated right? And I'm not aware of anyone who has made the full constitutional argument that it is actually impacting an enumerated right, that right requires a strict scrutiny interpretation by the court, and then seeing it go to the Supreme Court to determine if these mandates are even legal. And a big part of why we haven't seen that is because so many lawyers out there are liberal. That's the answer. That's the real answer as to why. It's that the overwhelming majority of lawyers are liberal. So they're not going to bring that case. They're not going to bring that challenge. They're not going to do anything with it because they're for it. They're fine. The other ones, people who are not liberal, have seen what happens to the wrong think in the current social age. They've seen what happens with any sort of deviation from the popular line, I guess. And that is that your firm might be destroyed. Your license will be investigated. Everything will be, all of the pressure will be put on you. You'll lose clients. You'll be blasted on Twitter. Your Google reviews will be bombed. Everything will happen to you. And so they go, well, we could fight this, or we could continue doing business, that the business that we've built, that we poured our lives into, and that people rely on. That's the problem with this. We have not seen a challenge. And so when something goes unchallenged, it just gets to persist. The infringement of rights gets to go on. And we get to have a nasty little Q-tip sitting from on high telling us what we have to do. And it's extremely, extremely frustrating from a liberty perspective. Again, it's not about whether or not you should wear a mask or not. Again, you have to make that decision based on listening to experts. I'm not the guy who tells people what they should or shouldn't do, ever. Like, if you pay me to tell you what I think is the best option, yeah, I'll give you some advice. That's my job. Pay for the advice. But I can't tell you what to do. Even in that capacity, I can't tell you what to do. And that's not what you're buying from me. I wouldn't presume to. I would tell people what I think. I will tell people my opinions, but I won't tell them what to do. That's up to them. That's up to them. But now we have a government who decided that they can tell you what to do. And that's a big issue for me. That is a big issue for me. James Marone, who's the Michael Jordan of lawyers? Is there a lawyer that most lawyers look up to? Yes, Satan. Okay. A couple chats here. Niku Yasha says, as Fleece Johnson, We can do this the easy way or the hard way. You can take the shot or put on the mask. The choice is yours. William Smith says, as far as I'm concerned, back to normal will mean keeping our shoes on at the airport. You got to get that, you got to get pre-check, buddy. Then you get to keep your shoes on like you're almost a human. Pre-check is the winner. Chadman says, Rekieta Law branded masks win. They already exist. That's what I wear. I wear a Rekieta Law branded mask. They're up on the Teespring store. Music and Fiction says, response to Joe Biden in German. Jawohl, mein Führer. Shall I wear this yellow star and take a ride in that boxcar behind the express train? The answer is no. Biden needs to eat dicks and wash it down with Billy Beer. Okay, I don't know if all of that was supposed to be in German, but we're going with it. We're going with it. Jason McConnell says, I plan to wear a Moderna needle through my nose like Captain Lou Albano and my custom made to mask pouch sheath underwear. Okay. You do that. I do have to say that Minnesota's mask mandate ends on Friday. Tomorrow. Actually, today now, technically, it's over. So Minnesota's mask mandate is over. Governor Walz has decided to mildly uncuck himself. He still deserves to be put in the camp with the rest of the communists. But at least that shit's over. Ugh. We'll see how long that goes, though, because Minnesota is fickle, and Governor Walz loves his executive orders. Oh, did you guys see? This is not on the same topic, except for Walz likes to jerk off to pretend he's Newsom, and Newsom did this. Did you see that Gavin Newsom, who's facing the recall election, he just magically found a $38 billion surplus in California and plans to send out a state stimulus check? Did you see that? Did you see? This motherfucker is so brazen. He's like, oh, I just found $38 billion and I'm going to give it back to you, the people, as a stimulus. Definitely. For fuck's sake. Are we serious? The man nakedly buying votes. Oh, this shit is corrupt. If a Republican did that, he would have been shot already by the media. The media would have come up and shot the Republican for doing that. Absolutely amazing. Oh my gosh. Zanger, you got to be joking. Says a universal basic income is the only humane solution. It should be a prerequisite of capitalism, folks. It's the literal opposite of capitalism. Do you even economics, bruh? Oh my goodness. Okay. Let me start with this. Let's find this. We'll check this Josh Hawley article and see if it's exciting. If it's not too exciting, I don't know how. It's not super long. And then we'll move on to REEEcism. L. Jeff says, get this, Nick. People get like $600, but illegal people get $1,800 from stimulus. Did you see? Have you seen what they're trying to do to convince people to get the poke? One state is giving away like $1 million to 5 random people who get the vaccine. The fuck is this? Oh my God. All right. Here we go. Josh Hawley's former academic mentor says he blames himself for helping the senator rise to power. That's Ohio. Yeah, Ohio's a red state. Oh, I get it. It doesn't, like, look, government buying power is not, it is not blue or red issue. It really isn't. Yeah, in New York you get, or in New York City you get fries or something with your shot. Just de Blasio there stuffing his fat, disgusting face on camera. Just, I'm eating fries. Get your poke. Oh my God. Ugh. Okay, so here we go. Josh Hawley's former academic advisor regrets supporting the senator and helping him achieve his political dreams. Let me just get this out there right now. This guy is a giant cunt. Giant cunt. No matter who he is. Fuck you. Fuck you for being like this. I had no inkling really just how conservative he was, Stanford historian David Kennedy said. Josh Hawley was so good at college that he fooled his teachers into thinking, he fooled his academic mentor into not being conservative. Like, he fooled him into it. Fuck this guy. This guy should be thrown out of school immediately. He should be removed from teaching immediately. If this is how he views students, well, I don't want to, he's just said, I don't want to help conservative students succeed. Because if a conservative student achieves, that's a bad thing. Get him out. Get him out. Kennedy made the comments in a lengthy Washington Post profile of Hawley. Oh, God. Stanford University professor David Kennedy, who mentored a college-age Senator Josh Hawley, told the Washington Post that he blames himself for helping his former student and boosting his political career. I think he's a thoughtful, deeply analytical person. So what's the problem? Kennedy told the Post. What I understand far less well is his particular political evolution. I had no inkling really just how conservative he was. I blame myself. The professor mentored Hawley and advised him on his thesis about former President Theodore Roosevelt, which was later published as the book Theodore Roosevelt, Preacher of Righteousness. The feeling on my part is that I simply was not paying attention to what he was doing in the arena of student culture, where he was moving, Kennedy added. Good! You should be concerned with his academic career and nothing else. That's your job. Hawley received significant backlash for his role in sponsoring an official objection to counting Pennsylvania's slate of 20 electoral votes for President Joe Biden on January 6th, something Democrats have done at every single Republican presidential election in the past 25 years. All of them. A Democrat has stood up. I think Maxine Waters at all of them. Jamie Raskin, one of Trump's prosecutors in the impeachment, stood up and objected to Trump. These people all have done this. This is not a big deal. It's baked into the process. It's part of the process to have an objection. It is. You can say, hey, you shouldn't object to that guy, but they have the right to, no matter who or what it is. His official objection to counting Pennsylvania's slate of 20 electoral votes for President Joe Biden on January 6th and following through with his plan after the insurrection on the Capitol, forcing Congress to debate the objection in the early hours of the next day. Kennedy told the Kansas City Star shortly after the insurrection the shortest insurrection in history, that he was more than a little bamboozled and certainly distressed by the events surrounding the Capitol riots, but went further during his conversation with the Post by holding himself accountable. Hawley alienating the people, and particularly the major establishment Republicans who contributed to his rise to office, was a major theme at the Post profile. Who? Oh no, not the establishment Republicans. Why would anybody not be in line with the establishment Republicans? No! What are we gonna do? Oh. Tom Lambert, a professor at the University of Missouri Law School who recruited Hawley and his wife Erin to teach at the school, told the Post he was stunned when Hawley said the arrest of Kim Davis, a Kentucky clerk who refused to issue a marriage license to same-sex couple in defiance of the Supreme Court, was tragic. So you disagree with the guy. This is the moment when I realized, I'm not sure I know this guy. I mean, I don't know. I don't know that it's that shocking that someone thinks that an arrest for a political opinion is bad. To me, like, that's not a dangerous thing. This person, you can say she should have issued the license. You can go ahead and say that. You could say she should be fired. Arrested. Jail. Court. Fines. Because she has a political opinion related to her deeply held core beliefs. Opinion may be wrong. I don't care. I don't care what her opinion is. Doesn't matter to me. Arrested? That is tragic. It's ridiculous. It's tyranny. No matter what side of the aisle you're on, arrests for opinions is tyranny. And her failure to exercise that action didn't do anything other than say, according to state policy and state law and her job description, she was not fit for the job. So you move her or you fire her. That's what you do. Simple. Arrest. He was trying to establish his credentials as a religious freedom warrior. This is where I thought, you're kind of lying here. You're misrepresenting how the Constitution works. I mean, I don't think he is. I don't think so at all. This is the most frustrating part. So the way the law works is there's the law as written, and then there's the law as applied, and then there's the law as you want it to be. And in every case, you have all four of those sort of competing things. That's it. You have all four of those competing things. And two sides want the law typically to be something different than what it is. One side might want it to be different and the other side might want it to be the same. Or they might both want something different. But either way, how the Constitution works and how it ought to work are things that are in constant flux. I mean, they every Supreme Court decision modifies in a tiny way, at least, how the Constitution works. That's why they take the case. That's why they take the case. That's why they issue a ruling. That's why they write an 80-page opinion, is to modify in some small way how the Constitution works. And that was based on how someone thought it ought to work. Even well-established law can have someone persuasively say, but it ought to be this. And it may not be a massive change. It may not be a full reversal of the decision. It may be a modification. It may be an addition. It may be a minor subtraction, a narrowing, if you will. This happens all the time. So to suggest that religious freedom should encompass the right of a public official to refuse to perform a task that goes against their deeply held beliefs without fear of jail, that is how the Constitution ought to work. That's how it ought to work. And that's an okay position to have. And in a lot of times, that's how it does work. So again, this is a problem with fucking lawyers. God, I hate them. Don't you? Especially academic lawyers. Oh, they make me want to die. They make me want to die. They get so wrapped up in how the law is, and they don't ever explore how the law ought to be. Fenrir, but that's the overwhelming majority of a lawyer's job, is to argue for how the law ought to be in a particular situation. Fenrir Lycros says, just got finished switching out a transformer. Ended up working tonight, so I'm able to catch the show live. This is for your next drink. Can't wait to meet you in Houston in July. Love the show, but could be better. Lol. What? Love the show, but could be better. Damn. Harsh. What do I need to do? Do I need to start doing nipple rubs or something for you? God. Oh. My feelings. I think is my... I feel so low. I think I adjusted my camera up a little bit. Or my layout. Maybe, Wolvenar, maybe. All right, here we go. Another one of his mentors, former Missouri GOP Senator John Danforth, publicly denounced Hawley's Electoral College objections before the insurrection and after it, disavowed Hawley altogether. Supporting Josh and trying so hard to get him elected to the Senate was the worst mistake I ever made in my life. He told the Senate. Oh my God, this guy has lived a blessed and charmed life. That's the worst mistake you made, was helping some asshole get elected, and then you didn't like what he did in one election. Like imagine you die and you're up at the pearly gates and Peter's like, all right, trick question to get into heaven. What's the worst thing that you did in your entire life? What's the worst thing that you did in your entire life? And you're like, I'm former Senator John Danforth, and the worst thing that I did, a former senator. Imagine the amount of blowjobs this guy had to give in his life. The worst thing he did was help another senator get elected. Oh, Lottie fucking da. You never, you're a senator. You probably literally are directly involved in the deaths of several people. Maybe several thousand, could be as many as millions. Could be millions of people directly died based on decisions that you made. Yeah. But the worst thing you did was you got Josh Hawley elected. Yeah, that's where Peter goes, yeah, time for you to get some reflection time. Hell, gone. He told the St. Louis Post-Dispatch saying, it is very dangerous to America to continue pushing this idea that government doesn't work and that voting was fraudulent. Well, not speaking to the voting, because I am making no statements and giving no opinions on the legitimacy of the 2020 election, which has definitely been decided, and Joe Biden has been inaugurated president, and our economy is in the shitter. So you know for a fact right now that Joe Biden is the president. I can prove it. I see all these people. I see them in the comments sometimes. I've seen them in the chat, not as much recently, but I've seen people out there saying, nope, Trump is still the president. He behind the scenes or whatever. It's all a sham. Joe Biden's not really the president. I have definitive proof that Joe Biden is the president. Hey, Atlanta, bring me a gallon of gas. First one to get here gets $100. Oh, wait, that's not worth it because it cost you over $100 to get that gallon of gas. My bad. My bad. Proof that Joe Biden is the actual president. This economy went straight into a stripper's asshole immediately. It took no time at all. No time at all. Now we've got motherfuckers out here saying, like, economists are like, yeah, oh, by the way, inflation is, whoo, it's coming. Oh, that jobs report was supposed to be better, but geez, it's really, oh, God, it's bad. And maybe, this gas thing. I mean, who would have known a pipeline could get hacked? I mean, what the fuck? Nothing else has ever been hacked. We had no plan for it, but, hey, we beat COVID. Oh, Israel and Palestine? Don't even look at that. They were fighting for the last 3 years, weren't they? I mean, this is old news. No, actually, Trump had negotiated a peace deal that was actually tentatively holding. There weren't actual really major incidents of violence. I mean, no. Definitive proof that Joe Biden is president. The Middle East is in fucking shambles. Our situation with Russia is deteriorating rapidly, and the economy is in America's taint. So let's put that one to bed, shall we? There, YouTube, I've done you a favor. You no longer have to worry about your stupid policy because we know that is definitively true. All right. That being said, government doesn't work. Government has never worked. Government does not work. The only time government claims to work, if you notice, we got millions of vaccines. We're way ahead of schedule. You didn't build that. Like, legitimately, I'm going to borrow that from Obama, your boss. You didn't build that. Private companies built that. Like, the government didn't make a vaccine. The government didn't manufacture the vaccine. The government's not distributing the vaccines. That's all done by private companies. Private companies motivated by various stimulus and incentives and stuff like that, sure. But the government couldn't have made the vaccine. If the private companies, if all the pharmaceutical companies just said, lol, fuck off, when they were approached on producing the vaccine, if they all just said, lol, now we're fine with it, we're going to treat it like cancer and just never fix the problem. We're just going to come up with a $8 million treatment plan that someone will have to go through every year or they'll die. That's fine. We'll do that instead. If they had done that, the government would have had no mechanism to ever manufacture a vaccine. They have no mechanism to deliver the vaccine. Everything that the government has ever claimed to do was literally done by private companies or private people. It always is. The only thing, and fuck, lately, war is even outsourced to contractors. We pulled soldiers back and put contractors in because even that, the government's like, well, I guess the private sector might be better at it. Literally everything. They can't even publish a book. And we're sitting here like, oh, government works. What do they work at? They don't work on anything. We're talking about perpetuating myths and lies. The idea that government does shit is beyond me. And how we still keep running with this stuff. It's 2021. We have seen every government program ever fail over and over and over at every juncture. And the only time any success comes is when they involve private companies, and they always overpay. And we're still going with, oh, government can get it done. No, they can't. No, they can't. They're pretty damn good at collecting taxes? No, they're not. That's the crazy thing. Eric Allinger, honestly think about this. The government's one job that they do the best is collecting taxes. And every single year, what do they say? We need more auditors. We need better collection. We're not getting as much as we're supposed to. They're absolutely terrible at collecting taxes. They're so fucking bad. If I was king of America and I'm going to collect taxes, you know what I do? Mandatory withdrawals directly from the employers on a flat tax with no deductions. You know why? Because you're gonna collect the overwhelming majority of taxes that way. The overwhelming majority of taxes. You set it at 10%, automatic withdraw direct from the employers. You're collecting the taxes. You reduce the amount of people. You get rid of this fucking tax day garbage that you go through because you get rid of deductions. You get rid of all those things and you just say, no, flat tax, 10%, done. Flat tax, 10% direct from employers as they pay wages. Then we'll get to the gig workers as we go, but all you have to do is put a 10% flat tax on gig payments and you're going to get the other 50 to 90% of taxes. And you're going to be leagues ahead of the government where it is now, where we go off an honor system and the government has basically no way to verify what you should be taxed other than what you send them. It takes a ton of resources and investigation to figure that out. Even taxation, the one thing the government does okay at, they're really bad at. If a private company collected bills as effectively as governments went taxed income, they'd close. Dark Avenger says, just turned 40 an hour ago. Yeah, buddy. Thanks for your show and perspective on many topics, especially in regards to family. Kermit voice, I'm getting too old for this shiz. Oh my God. What job would Drex have as part of your regime? He would collect taxes from the OnlyFans thoughts. Simple answer right there. But anyway, Dark Avenger, happy birthday, man. Glad to see you at 40. Gives me hope that I'll make it through the rest of this year. Flat tax doesn't work. There's a bare minimum survivability floor and cost of living varies state to state. No, flat tax works just fine. It works just fine. Because the flat tax should be extremely low. But, you know. And you get rid of loopholes. If you really want to have that bare minimum survivability floor, do a flat tax after the first $35,000 of income or something ridiculous. Make it more complicated than it has to be, sure. Or you could just flat tax everybody 10% on income. Just everybody. There you go. And you get rid of almost everything else. Just with that. All right, back to this. Sorry, I had a little rant. Danforth also talked to the Post reflecting on the part he played in Hawley's ascent to the Senate. I think he would not be in the U.S. Senate except for me. Listen to this guy. There's no other way Josh Hawley could have possibly made it other than this guy. Maybe that sounds like I'm promoting myself being a kingmaker, but my view is I put him there and created this thing. Yeah. Fuck off. We would never get an 8-hour work day without unions. Why not? Because unions gave us an 8-hour work day. Why does that mean that we wouldn't have ever gotten it any other way? Because unions did it. That's not how logic works. We would have never had a car if Henry Ford hadn't invented it. Why? Couldn't someone else have invented a car? No, Henry Ford invented the car. No one else could have done it. It doesn't make sense. All right. I think that's it for the Josh Hawley article. Yes. Now, let's get on to some fun stuff. I think you guys have probably seen this, but I haven't watched it in full yet. Nope. Not what I want to do. We're on to REEEcism. Have you seen this? You guys see this? You hear about this? This is from a couple days ago. 7 days ago to be exact, but I haven't watched it. Some of you have requested I watch this, but I haven't watched it yet.
You know why I'm being harassed today? Because I was going under the speed limit. I was going at 38.
Yeah. All right, already, shut the fuck up. A cop walks up to you. You don't say anything about why you think they pulled you over, ever. You don't do shit. Don't say anything. Yes, officer, how may I help you today? Did you lose your keys? Are you worried that you might miss the bakery and you're trying to get past me? I don't know what it is, officer. Did you smell donuts wafting out of my sunroof? I would be happy to give you one. There's also a Krispy Kreme up the block, and I would be happy to give you a one free donut discount card that I carry with me at all time. Shut your mouth. Never, ever talk. Don't say anything. Just answer the questions honestly, concisely, and shut it. But of course, this is a Karen German Shepherd. So here we go.
Yes, you are, ma'am. Good morning.
And the speed limit is 40, and I was going 38, so why are you harassing me?
You are correct. I pulled you over because
you're a murderer.
Because
yes, I...
Because you're a murderer. Because you're a murderer. Oh no. Is there a fucking union guy in the chat? Wordbearer says, what evidence exists that industrial work environment was moving towards 8-hour work days at 5 hours a week? It doesn't matter if it was moving there or not, motherfucker. Eventually, people moved towards an 8-hour workday. How they got there is how they got there. And saying we wouldn't have gotten there any other way is fucking retarded. Period. There's nothing else about this. There is no goddamn argument. Saying we would not have invented the light bulb if Thomas Edison got gonorrhea and died is retarded. Someone else could have made it. Anything else could have happened. Maybe we wouldn't have gotten an 8-hour workday. Maybe we would have gotten a 4-hour workday and everybody would spend the next 20 hours jerking off. Get the fuck out with this stupid argument. It is the dumbest fucking argument I've ever heard. I'm so goddamn tired of hearing it. I've been arguing with union communists my entire life. All of it. And all of them have the same bullshit. It's the most specious reasoning on the fucking planet. Well, if this guy didn't do it, no one else would have. Why not? Why not? If this is where we're settling on at equilibrium, if we're all in agreement that the unions are the wisest motherfucking jabronis on the planet and came up with the 8-hour workday and it is God's gift to humanity, then God would have given it to somebody else if unions didn't exist. This is the fucking stupidest thing ever. I hate this argument. Do you even know anything about how logic works, about how history works, about how innovation works, about how progress works? Things change all the time in different ways. We would definitely have gotten there. Someone else would have gone, you know what? I'm tired of working 16 hours. Maybe 8 would be better. And that's it. That's all it would have taken. At some point, someone would have gotten to it. Some genius CEO would have said, you know what, if my workers were a little less tired, they might work more efficiently and gone 8 hours instead of 16, or maybe 6, or maybe 10, or maybe they would have worked 3 days a week. We don't know, but they would have definitely gotten there. They would not have stayed in the 1918 hell that existed. Ah! This is good whiskey. And you guys got me over 1,000 likes, which means I get to have another one. Kosk sent me a bunch of fire. All right. That was a diversion. Here we go.
I started to record because
You can't
you're a murderer.
you can't be on your cell phone
I
while you're
wasn't
driving.
on my phone. I was recording you because you scared me.
You can't use your cell phone while you're recording.
You.
May I have your driver's license?
It's at my apartment.
It's at my apartment. If the union didn't give her a driver's license, she wouldn't have one. She already has a dash cam. Why does she need to turn her phone on? Turn your dash cam towards the cop, you weirdo. Tina says, DSP, listen, guys, I'm going to need some more super chats. I mean, I haven't even got enough to put my vest on yet, guys. Come on, guys. I lost my Twitch partnership. So, guys, you got to pick up the slack or I'll have to stop the stream. Look, if I'm not going to hit the goals, if I'm not even going to get close to my goals, I'm just not going to be able to stream on Twitch anymore. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. If you want this to end, if you want it all gone, I got to meet the goals. Look, we're gonna have a fundraiser on Friday. Is that tomorrow? That's tomorrow. We're gonna have a fundraiser on Friday, and we got to meet the goals. I'm still curious. I'm still contemplating if I should get Mass Effect 1 and compete with DSP tomorrow. Like, I'll name the stream, come watch me play Mass Effect 1 just to spite DSP. What time does he start? He's going to be going a long time. I've never played Mass Effect. I think Drexel's coming over tomorrow at some point. Do you think we could outview DSP in the middle of the day? Is it even possible? Can I vanquish the pig roach in views? You don't want Drex playing an RPG. Guys, have you ever heard Drex talk about playing a single role-playing game in his life? Have you even listened to the man talk about games? All he plays is garbage. He doesn't play any RPG. Decision making in games. What is that? Oh my God. You've been wooed by his thoughts on German Shepherds, and you're like, oh, this must translate to video game. No. Stormcrow 900 says, holy shit, they just killed your likes to 124 and then it bounced back up to 1.1k. The shenanigans are crazy. More rants, please. Well, look, I have to consider my heart. Does he play Call of Duty? No, he doesn't play first-person shooters. Metal Gear is not an RPG. You better stop. You better stop. Andrew War Snowboard says, your DSP impression sounds like Professor Fink from The Simpsons, and it makes me happy. Yeah. I will also be in my old Walmart vest on Twitch tomorrow at 8:30 Central Time at Indians Fan 2048. So you guys can check out Indians Fan on Twitch at 8:30 tomorrow. Who's Kit Boga? I don't know who that is. Poaching raid seems weird. I don't know. Okay, back to this. This is in San Dimas. To think that we go from Bill and Ted to this thing.
What's your apartment?
It's at my home. I'm just taking my son to his.
Do you have your driver's license?
I mistakenly left it at home.
Do you have a picture of your driver's license?
Yes, I do.
May I have it?
And can you call your supervisor, please?
Notice what he did. He basically just undid the recording. That was beautiful. He just obviated her ability to record by, do you have a picture of your driver's license? Yeah, I do. I carry a picture of it in my phone all the time. Can you call your supervisor? No.
I already did. He's on his way.
Good, because you're a murderer.
Okay.
And you're just mad because
Hey, get me 81 Sam. On co-op.
Oh, no. He just called in a non-cooperative person. You're a murderer.
And so you're giving me a cell phone ticket? Is that why you're harassing me?
Not harassment.
Yeah.
I am enforcing the law.
I have a right to record the police when they're harassing me.
By all means, but you can't do it while you're driving.
I wasn't texting or none of that.
Do you have that
you
picture?
Scared me and made me think you were going to murder me.
Okay, well, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Well, that's not just a feeling. You're a murderer.
Okay.
Okay. This guy, you know what? I would buy this cop a beer because he has the patience of a saint. You're a murderer. Okay. Whatever. By the way, you're giving me a cell phone ticket, like she's admitting to using the cell phone. I wasn't texting or nothing, but you're giving me a cell phone ticket? Yeah, you can't use it while you're driving, you dumbass.
You doing this because it's part of your little gang?
Can you zoom in on that for me, Jay?
Sure.
Thank you.
And I'm perfectly legal, and I'm a teacher.
So what?
So there.
Congratulations.
Murderer. You're a murderer.
What's that? Hold that still for me.
Okay, murderer.
Bring that back up there.
Oh God, it's like a weather alert.
Know that you're a murdering freak.
Pull that back up for me, ma'am.
Okay, murderer.
What's your last name? I can't see that there.
Well,
if
here you
stop,
go,
Stop
murderer.
shaking. Zoom in on that for
No,
me, ma'am.
because you're scaring me.
Oh,
You're threatening to kill me and my son. Can you give me
okay.
the
Well,
iPad,
I'll
please?
tell you what. You keep smiling. You're on camera.
You're trying to threaten to kill me.
I
I'm not
didn't say that.
smiling. You're the one who's crazy.
Hold that still. I can't see that.
I'm holding it, and you're scaring me.
I'll tell you what. You spell your last name for me.
It's right here.
Okay, but you're moving. You're shaking.
Well, because you're scaring me. You're harassing.
Do you have the insurance?
You say yes, I do. Of course.
Can you get your
Of course you do. You don't have your license, you dummy. Why is it of course you I don't have my license. I left it in my apartment. But you have your insurance, of course? Like, he has no reason to believe you would have it.
Yes,
proof of insurance?
Yeah, it's in. I told you.
I'll be right back. You get your proof of insurance for me, okay?
It's in my purse.
Is this your car?
Yes, it is. And you're trying to say I stole my own car?
She's a teacher. She's driving a fucking Mercedes and acting like this. Oh my God. Oh, if this were my kid's teacher, I would walk in and slap her in the fucking face, and then I would pull my kid out of that school forever.
Yeah,
Is that what
I don't
that's
think
about?
so. You wait for me right here, okay?
You're jealous?
You wait for me right here. You give me your
Okay,
the
murderer.
current card of proof of
Okay,
your
murderer.
insurance.
It's on file with the state. You know that
Do
when
you have
look
it? You have to have it in your
it.
car, though.
I
Insurance
told
and
you I
registration. Insurance and
accidentally
registration.
left
I'll be right
my
back.
purse at home.
Oh, so she
I'll be
doesn't
right
even
back.
have it.
Citation, all you need to do is your signature. He's only citing you for using your cell phone while you're driving. That's it.
Here you go, ma'am. Sign inside the
For,
red
being
box
a,
right
for
there.
him being a Mexican racist. What is that name? Yes.
Mexican racist. Does that mean he hates Mexicans or that he is? I know he's Latinx or whatever, but what does a Mexican racist mean? Does that mean that he is a racist and a Mexican, or that he's racist against Mexicans? Because I think everybody who eats at Taco John's is racist against Mexicans, but that's just me.
On the citation, ma'am.
Here you go, Mexican racist. You're always going to be a Mexican. You'll never be white. You know that, right?
Tell that to Michael Jackson, you whore. Can you- I can dream. I can dream. Ah. Oh, God. Here we go.
You'll never be white, which is what you really want to be.
There you
want to
go,
be
dear.
white.
Have a good day.
You want to be white so bad.
You want to be white so bad. Why? Why? He can oppress the black women's just fine as a lowly Mexican. Why would he want to be white? That video was so much better than I thought it was going to be. Oh, God, that was great. I had no idea it was going to be that entertaining. Oh. Eric the Red says the only thing that will murder this cow is diabetes. Oh, jeez. She's a community college teacher. Clearly overpaid. However much it is, it's too much. God, that was great. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Oh, this one was good. This story was great. Like, I know I'm going to get shit on for asking this question, but bear with me. Before I pull up this story, do any of you watch American Idol? It's okay if you want to admit it. I used to watch American Idol back when I watched TV. I enjoy the singing. I just enjoy singing in general. I like it. I like listening to a good vocal performance, and sometimes those occurred on American Idol. But I haven't watched it in like 10 years, so I don't know. No. Hell the fuck no. None of you watch American Idol? Not any of you? Nobody? I don't see a single yes. Not any yeses. None? Yes, no homo. I saw one. It's moving too fast. I see someone say yes. Perfect. Okay, it's good. It's good. Yes, there's some yeses. Power to the yeses. You do it. You go, girls. You can win. My parents watch American Idol, so when I'm at their house down in Florida, it's on from time to time, so I'll see it. I'm not familiar with this guy. This season, I should find her. Guys, there is a woman with a body shape that shouldn't exist on American Idol right now. She was. I don't know if she still is. I'm going to find her. She probably is because of her body and not in the good way. Is this her? Yep. Okay. I'm going to show you this chick because her body should not exist. It is unreal. It is not a real thing. But I saw her when I was at my parents' house, and I was like, what the hell is that? Here, I'm gonna pull her up for you. Okay. Look at these. Look at these hips. Look at these hips. Whoa! 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 Look at those. They're unreal. It's not fake. It's not fake. That's how she looks. I've seen it live video. This chick, her hips are anatomically impossible. Look at this stuff. She's little up top. I mean, she's not little, but she's not fat. She's just, she's a little thick or whatever. I mean, here she's got big arms. But generally speaking, look at this. Look at this. Look at the size of these hips. I don't even know how that works. I mean, they're just massive. They don't even look right. Okay, anyway. So this is just me talking about how, like, on occasion, I would see some of the stuff on Idol. My parents were, she is a good singer. She's a good singer. I think she's in the top 5 or whatever, which has just been reduced to 4. It has just gone from the top 5 to the top 4 without a performance and without a vote because Caleb Kennedy out after KKK style hood video surfaces. Oh no. Oh no. This kid is 16 years old. He is 16 years old. All right. Here we go. Caleb Kennedy is out of the top 5 on American Idol and has apologized for a video that shows him with someone wearing a Ku Klux Klan style hood. CNN has reached out to ABC, the network on which American Idol airs, for comment. Kennedy, 16. He's 16. When did he even have time to find someone with a hood? I've been looking for a KKK hooded person, I should say, my entire life. I can't find one. I'm like running around. I'm like, I heard there's a KKK. I know there's one somewhere. I want to find one of these weirdos and look at it. Like, I want to see one just to prove to me that it exists, and I can't find him anywhere. This kid finds a KKK hooded person and records a Snapchat with them, and he's only 16. He's accomplished so much. Confirms his exit from the reality singing competition in a statement posted on his verified Instagram account on Wednesday. Hey y'all, this is going to be a bit of a surprise, but I'm no longer going to be on American Idol. It's going to be a surprise. I'm off the show. There was a video that surfaced on the internet and it displayed actions that were not meant to be taken in that way. I was younger. What? 15? And did not think about the actions. But that's not an excuse. Stop apologizing. You made a joke. Stop apologizing. It wasn't even him. He's not even in the hood. We're going to show the video. We're going to show it. It's 2 seconds and he's not in the hood. I want to say sorry. That's not an excuse. I want to say sorry to all my fans and everyone who I've let down. I'll be taking a little time off social media to better myself, but saying that, I know this has hurt and disappointed a lot of people and made people lose respect for me. What? You're 16. No one actually respected you. I'm so sorry. I pray that I can one day regain your trust in who I am and have your respect. Thank you for supporting me. Nope, not after that apology. Get fucked. Get out. The world is better without you. You're done. Don't ever apologize for this shit. This short video clip has been making the rounds on social media. Here we go. You ready? This is it. Is there even audio? I don't even know. There's not even audio. That's it. This is a video. It ended an entire career. "16-year-old's entire career, maybe forever, is gone." That's it. This is posted by Deaf Noodles. "Should have stayed in your drafts. American Idol contestant Caleb Kennedy allegedly seen in a resurfaced with someone wearing a KKK hood. Caleb is allegedly blocking anyone who mentions the video, according to multiple reports." There you go. Whole career gone. Top 5 American Idol, guaranteed record contract, guaranteed at least $1 million. You're guaranteed. I mean, when you win the winner of American Idol doesn't win American Idol. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, those places win American Idol consistently. Those are the artists who tend to end up standing the test of time. They get an independent record contract because a label sees them and likes what they do for who they are. Whereas Idol, the Idol winners have to do what the Idol producers want. And the Idol producers are there to produce a pop star. But not all of these people are pop stars. Daughtry, for example. Danny Goki, Christian music sensation. These guys, Adam Lambert becomes the lead singer of Queen on tour. These guys are not the winners of the show, but they end up winning in the career. Top 5 American Idol, you're guaranteed to make $1 million. Guaranteed. Gone. Sayonara. Welcome to Taco John's. I love you. That's this kid's future. He's going to be like every other. He was on top of the world. And now he's going to be like every other 16-year-old, except that there's a giant video of him with a KKK member, except he wasn't. It was just a jackass in a hood next to him. It was someone else's joke. It was just someone else's joke. Kennedy, a high school student whose hometown is listed as Rosebuck, South Carolina on his Idol bio, also wrote, "Want to say I'm sorry to all my fans and everyone else who I have let down." Kennedy's mother, Anita Guy. Come on. No, her name is not Anita Guy. God damn it. God. You scumbag. You are not trolling me right now. You are not. Anita Guy. Anita Guy. Come. Told the Spartanburg Herald Journal the clip is being taken out of context and said, "I hate this has happened and how Caleb is being portrayed by people online." Yeah, of course it's being taken out of. What 16-year-old has joined the KKK unironically? Like, does anyone think a Zoomer is out there joining the KKK? Is anyone actually joining the K? Again, I ask, is the KKK even real? Is it even real? I'm not convinced. I've seen no evidence to convince me that the KKK still exists. I think it's the boogeyman, like the social media boogeyman. Where even is it? And our people, how's their recruitment going? Man, we bringing in new people all the time. Shut up, Earl. No, you're not. You're right. You're right. Who is actually someone's out there, they're like, you know what? Now, I'm not saying that there's not racists or like white nationalists or something out there who might have some racial animosity, but like you have the plethora of options, right? You're like, okay, I can join this group. I don't even know what their names would be, but just go to whatever, the Southern Poverty Law Center and pick some. You're like, okay, I could join this group, or the KKK. I mean, they've got a lot of baggage, but the benefits package is really good. Plus, the attire is primo. And the titles, man, Grand Dragon, that's pretty fucking cool. Supreme Cyclops of the KKK would be awesome. Like, who is sitting there going, you can go through any other organization that like and fulfill all your racist desires, right? You can do whatever. You could go work for the Gap or whatever and be like super racist all day long, and it's fine because black people can't afford Gap clothes, I guess. I don't know. But what you could go work for the Gap and make money, or you could join the KKK, the most reviled organization on the planet. The one that like Anton LaVey of the Church of Satan would be like, whoa, I don't know about you guys though. Like everybody, like child rapists in prison are like, but I'm not in the KKK though. Like that's a little bit fucking much. Who is joining the KKK? Who actually thinks that a 16-year-old is going to walk up and be like, you know what I want? Give me that hood, motherfucker. I got wood for days. I got crosses to burn. I got kerosene in my back pockets. Nobody thinks this. Nobody actually believes that the KKK has anything to do with this kid. I can't believe it. The video was taken after Caleb had watched the movie The Strangers Pray at Night, and they were imitating those characters. She reportedly told the publication, had nothing to do with the Ku Klux Klan, but I know that's how it looks. Caleb doesn't have a racist bone in his body. I mean, he loves everyone and has friends of all races. I mean, it looks like he doesn't have many bones in his body, to be fair. Kind of a squishy boy. But that being said, Sunday's episode of American Idol will reportedly feature the top 4 with 1 contestant elimination. Oh, it's done. The strangers were wearing white masks. Like that was the horror movie thing, right? This 16-year-old's probably racist. Would the KKK even let him in? Would they even let him carry water? He's not the whitest kid on the planet. Is he a Democrat too? He's 16. Of course he's a Democrat. No one's kicked his ass yet. Look at him. Does this kid look like he got his ass kicked by anybody? Told to fucking get a job? No. He's playing a frilly guitar. He's wearing a denim jacket. He's got the gayest mullet I've ever seen with the lesbian side shave. This kid is not Republican yet. He hasn't faced the world or paid a bill. He still has a mom talking for him. Oh, whoever found that, you know that was one of his competitors found that picture, right? you know that big hip chick was like, I've seen this guy on Snapchat. Gotta get rid of this guy. He's Republican now. No fucking kidding. That's the red pill That's the red pill suppository. Caleb Kennedy. Someone just fisted that red pill all the way up, opened their fist and dropped it back in his mouth. All right. This one is not racism. This is a different ism. I'm going to give you guys fair warning. This is going to contain mild spoilers for the Mortal Kombat movie. If you are not familiar with the Mortal Kombat movie and you are spoiler averse, I guess leave the stream, because I'm going to talk about it anyway. It's been out for a while, and I figure everybody who actually fucking cares has already seen it anyway. It's the type of movie where the fandom is going to react pretty quickly if they care about it at all. So I don't think this is a spoiler, but this is about the Mortal Kombat movie. I know some of you hate it. It's fine. It's fine. It doesn't matter if you hate it. If you watched it, this should bring you some smiles. Are you ready? Are you ready? Mortal Kombat. Sonya Blade deserved better. Unlike the male Earthrealm fighters in 2021's Mortal Kombat, Sonya Blade has to prove her worth on screen to receive her marker. That's right. Sonya Blade's story is a little bit sexist. It's a little bit sexist. The following contains spoilers for Mortal Kombat, now in theaters and on HBO Max now. 2021's Mortal Kombat sidelines Sonya Blades in service of a thin revenge plot against Kano. While some see Sonya's revenge against Kano as equivalent to a hero's arc, it still leaves two problematic truths in its wake. One, Kano, the racist, sexist we love to hate. Wait, who? People hate Kano? People hate Kano? I thought Kano was objectively the most likable character in the movie. This is news to me. I thought Kano was the best character. He's the most fun. He's the most interesting. He's the funniest. He's the most real character. Of all of them, Kano's the most believable. Love to hate. What kind of racism is that? The only problem with Kano is he's from that fake fucking country, Australia. But you know what? Everybody in that movie is Australian because it was Australian. It was an Australian movie. Australia. And by the way, for everybody who says that Mortal Kombat was bad, just remember where it came from. Literally nowhere. A complete fiction. Hawley064 says, Nick, I promise you will want to see this. We'll look at it in a second. We got to get through the Sonya article first. Let's establish a couple things. Sonya Blade was looking right in the movie. Her character was fine. She's attractive. She's blonde. She's got muscle definition. Like, I'm still not buying it that 130-pound woman is beating up like a 200-pound man. I have problems with it. But that being said, she didn't look wafy, right? This is not a 90-pound Mary Sue running around. She's actually got some muscle tone. She looks good. She's not 17 years old or whatever. She's fine. She's fine. She's meh AF. Yeah, look, guys, it's Mortal Kombat. The character development And the character performances were all pretty bad. Like, we're not at Oscar quality. Well, wait, 1980s Oscar quality acting here. We're definitely in B-movie territory. Like, you're not watching Mortal Kombat for their astute character observations and quirky but interest-piquing takes on humanity's nuances through the realm of sci-fi fantasy. You're watching Mortal Kombat to watch Jax bust that guy's head in fucking half. It's just a fun, relaxing thrill ride. It's great. It's fine. It's exactly what it should have been. That's all it needed to be. And let me point out that of all the shit movies that have come out, I think Mortal Kombat's one of the best performing ones. And there's a reason for that. It's what people needed now. They just wanted something to sit down and sit through. And that's it. They forgot about COVID. They forgot about the election. They forgot about everything. And they just watched some people get their arms torn off, stabbed, blown up, laser beams shot through them. And that's fine. That's okay. That's okay. Nobody's a much better movie, mind you. But I'm just saying, Mortal Kombat did really well because people didn't have to think too hard. And that's what people want right now. They just want it. That's it. All right, anyway, back to this. The racist, sexist we love to hate receives more screen time than Sonya's motivation to defeat him. Not more screen time than Sonya Blade. Just more screen time than her motivation to defeat him, which is weird to say because the motivation to defeat him doesn't need any screen time. 2, the only woman Earthrealm fighter is depicted as unworthy of Mortal Kombat and has to prove herself to men. It's literally not that. Like, the funny thing is, the Mortal Kombat writers, I promise you this. I promise you this. The Mortal Kombat writers sat down and wrote, we're going to show how strong of a whammon Sonya Blade is by showing her earn her right on something that everyone else, the main character literally was born into it. The other guys got it ages ago in a different way. Liu Kang's acquisition of the mark was like a literal fucking joke. His whole thing. They were actually writing her character to be a woman power story. They're like, Sonya Blade is strong. Everyone else has this mark in their power and she doesn't. And yet, after Kano ascends and gets his super laser beam eye, after Jax gets his cyborg super arms that help him win, after the main character gets his literal fucking plot armor, Liu Kang can jerk off a dragon or whatever it is, Kung Lao's got a shitty looking razor hat. None of that matters. Sonya Blade has nothing but her own skill that she's developed over her own life. And she's still going to earn the right to defend Earth. She's going to fucking earn it. That's what they wrote. And CBR's like, this is misogynistic. She has to prove herself to the men. Are you kidding me? What are they talking about? Unlike the other Earthrealm fighters, Sonya doesn't gain a marker until Mortal Kombat's conclusion, limiting her training time, fight sequences, and the use of her energy ring powers. It's a pretty sexist move. She has at least as much fight sequences as every other non-main character. That's silly. She doesn't have the marker, but she fights just as much as anybody. Central to the Mortal Kombat reboot's plot is the idea that the Earthrealm's chosen have a dragon marking on their skin, qualifying them to defend their realm, While Cole was born with his mark thanks to his Hisashi lineage, he's the Mary Sue. Cole is the Mary Sue in this movie. Sonya isn't. Cole is. He even fucking quits. He quits, and his training is him getting his ass kicked. That's all. He loses every fight in the movie. Cole is the bitch. He loses every fight. He loses the UFC fight. He loses every fight. And it's inferred that Cole doesn't even win other times. He lost before. He always loses. He's always the loser. Cole has never won. That's clear. He's always the loser. He just has tenacity. That's all he's got is tenacity, which manifests in literal plot armor. The gold skin comes on, and then suddenly he's impervious to Goro's nipple twisting or whatever. Like, he is the Mary Sue. He's fucking embarrassing as a character. Sonya was not written as a Mary Sue. They're trying so hard to make this an unwoke movie when in actuality it's got plenty of wokeism in it. Like, they don't beat you over the head with it, but it's fine. Like, Sonya should be pathetic, but she's not. That's the joke. All right. Everyone else earned theirs by winning a fatal battle with someone who had a mark. However, the way the film chooses to use this marking plotline is questionable. Unlike the other Earthrealm warriors, Sonya Blade doesn't have a marking at the start of the film. While she is depicted as extremely knowledgeable about Mortal Kombat and otherworldly realms, having a red string room connecting decades of research, she has to earn her marking through an on-screen battle with her nemesis, Kano. All of them had to earn it. She gets to earn it on screen through getting rid of the main villain of the movie. Like, Shang Tsung is an ancillary villain. The Judas character so if you don't know, Mortal Kombat, this is a prequel. It's a prequel without a movie to be a prequel. Okay? So this is Mortal Kombat 0. This is before the tournament. That's why Johnny Cage isn't in it. And I know that was a big point of contention. I had a big problem with the fact that Johnny Cage wasn't in it, but I watched the show to go on. I watched the movie because I was going on Yellow Flash's show. We were going to talk about it. And I was like, okay, I'll use my dad's HBO Max subscription and watch it. So I used my dad's. I didn't pay any money for it. I watched the movie. I had a fine time. It was fine. It was fine. There's better movies. There's a whole lot worse, but it's fine. It's fun. Whatever. It's a non-thinking movie. But here we go. Here we go with this. The villain of the movie is not Shang Tsung. The villain of the movie is Kano. Because Kano betrays the main cast. And the Judas character of a prequel is the villain because the villain is revealed to be the villain in the main movie. In episode 1, Shang Tsung is the villain. In episode 2, Shao Kahn is the villain. And then in episode 3 and so on. But in episode 1, the next movie, Shang Tsung will be the villain. Or we just didn't have one before the 0. So this is 0. That's why Johnny Cage isn't in it. Johnny Cage is going to be in the next one. That's pretty clear by the end of the movie that Johnny Cage is the first person on the list that they're going to go find in preparation for the giant tournament, and that's going to start, and that's a big deal. And Shang Tsung will be the villain because Kano as Judas was the villain. Guess what? Judas is the villain before Pilate and the Jews are the villain in the Christ story, in the Passion. The fucking, what are they called? the Pharisees, right? The Pharisee Jews, the high-profile Jews in Rome are the villain of Christ's story. They're the ones who want him crucified. They're the ones who want him dead. But in the prequel, in the garden, Judas is the guy. And it's all foreshadowed at the Last Supper. This isn't, like, this plot is 2,000 years old. It's 2,000 years old. None of this is new. These are old tropes and old story arcs, and it's fine to borrow from them. But the Judas character is always the villain of the prequel story. Felipe Mube says, "Hi, Nick. Greetings from a Mexican white wannabe racist from South America. How they find out that idol kid was the one in the video. That means I can disguise as a ghost anymore. Love the show." No, he's the one sitting next to the ghost. That's how. His hair's different, and he's not dressed up professionally. That's the main thing that Idol does, is professional stylists and makeup artists come in and make you look more marketable. Not less retarded, but more marketable. And so in that marketability grooming that they do, they made the kid look like he does. They gave him the lesbo burns, the lesbo side trim, and they left the weird like meth dealer mullet on him. That's fine. That's what they did. And they dressed them in that clothing. Like, oh, denim's totally coming back now. You should wear a button-up denim jacket. Because apparently they want him to get shot at the next KKK rally he attends for being a Fed, wearing a fucking button-up denim jacket. But that's what they do on Idol. So someone comes in and does that to all of them. Like that chick with the giant hips in the red dress, that was post consultant, right? The consultant came in and went, "Whoa! Oh my God, Jerry, I need more fabric stat. I have got to fix this." And then they went and they found a circus tent to put around that chick's hips. That's what they do. That's what they do. So he's actually the kid in the video sitting next to the guy in the white face, the white hood. All right, back to this. Although Mortal Kombat fans could argue that Sonya taking Kano's marker, aka his worthiness to defend Earthrealm, was a satisfying way to show Kano and Sonya's iconic hatred of each other, the payoff comes too late. Why? It's episode 0. There's literally the first movie is coming out and Sonya's a main character in it. She gets a whole movie that Johnny Cage doesn't get. For over 2 hours, Sonya doesn't participate in training. Training sequences are boring. That's why they montage them, you fucking idiot. No one wants to watch a training sequence. Everybody, they literally, training sequences are hours long and they condense them to a minute with an 80s song because no one wants to watch them. She doesn't get to participate in training. Who cares? No one wanted to watch the training anyway. The training scenes in this movie suck. They're bad. They're the worst part of the movie. Objectively, the training scenes are the worst parts of the movie. There's not as many jokes. The fighting isn't good. No one's going to get chopped in half or have their head squished or have their arms ripped off or have their dick shoved into their anus. Nothing is going to happen in the training video that's interesting. And everybody knows. You're like, okay, Kung Lao's going to teach Kano how to fight. Boring. Nobody cares. Take it to the limit. I can feel the real sensation. Lead me to the destination. Take me to the point of no return. Yeah! It's like, it's always, you got to truncate it. Okay, next. Sorry. As Cole and Kano are unlocking their special powers in the ring, Raiden literally tells Sonya to stay away from the training grounds as she's not been chosen to save Earth. She wasn't chosen to save Earth. She can't benefit to the training. She can't do it. The whole purpose of the training is to unlock your special key power. You're the best around. Yeah, and she doesn't have one. It's a literal waste of time. In lieu of showing Sonya's connection to her potential powers, she doesn't have... Did you watch the movie? Did you watch the movie? She doesn't have potential powers. They don't exist. She has to have the mark to have potential powers. She has to have the mark. She has to have the mark, and she doesn't have it. There is no potential powers. There's nothing. She can't do. There isn't anything. Audiences treated to Kano, reminding Sonya of her unworthiness again and again. Yes, building up the payoff when she actually kills him. That's literal basic bitch plot building. That's exactly what you do. They opened a book on how to tell a story, and they said, we're going to create an arc for a heroine, and we're going to do it by artificially having a villain insult them unnecessarily, taking a beloved character. Everybody likes Kano because he's the best character in the movie, but they have to make the payoff for Kano worth it. And the only way they can make the payoff is by building up enough of Sonya's anger and justification and vindication to override the undeniable charisma of Kano's character. They have to do it this way. They have to. They have to make Kano degrade and berate her and treat her like she's less. And then, here's the shocker, he's the Judas. And because of that, all the goodwill, all of the mockery, all of the you're not worthy and I am, all of the I'm going to save the world and you're not in the entire movie are obliterated and replaced with this motherfucker betrayed everybody, so he's scum. It's... Why? Is CBR, is it cucks before reason? Is that what CBR stands for? Cuckoldry before reason? More upsettingly, audiences hear a 4-minute-long racist diatribe of anger from Kano against Liu Kang and Kung Lao to show what inspired his laser eye power to be unlocked. Did they not? They didn't watch this movie, did they? Kung Lao and Liu Kang were provoking Kano because they figured out that anger was the key to unlocking his power. They figured it out, that he wasn't taking things seriously and he had to get pissed off. They literally provoked him and fostered the racism. They're smirking as he's calling them the Chin X's. It's... I can't even take this. I can't even take this. Even if the film is aware that Kano is a problematic character, he's not a problematic character. He's not. He's a Judas character. There's a big fucking difference. It skirts an uncomfortable line of spending too much time depicting all the ways he is, which robs other characters of precious screen time. Oh, fuck off. While Sonya is shown as a superior fighter to Kano, their entire backstory is hedged under the idea that the fandom already knows why they are mortal enemies. No, it isn't. It isn't. He's a giant cunt to her from the start. He's everything she disagrees. She's a veteran. She's by the book. She's trying to save Earth. And Kano's a mercenary who is racist and is hitting on her constantly. You don't have to know any backstory to know why she hates him. They present it immediately when he's introduced. It seems like screenwriter Greg Russo wanted to avoid the capture-like trap scene that 1995's Mortal Kombat set up by already having Kano under Sonya's control. Fortunately, it ends up murky as to why she holds a vendetta against him. It's not murky. He's a dick. He's a dick who's in her way. He just happened to kill someone and get the mark. That's all. While the Mortal Kombat video game series hasn't always been the clearest about why Sonya hates Kano. Oh, so now... You're no true Scotsmaning fallacy when we're in fucking Ireland? The easiest answer comes from Mortal Kombat 11, where it's revealed that Kano killed her and Jax's special ops comrades. That's not in the movie. Even if audiences had to wait on Sonya receiving her marker until the end, 2021's Mortal Kombat could have allotted time to show Sonya's emotional connection to those she lost to Kano. Did she lose those in the movie, though? That's not in the movie. That's not there. They don't hint to it. They don't allude to it. There's nothing about that. You've read that. You've inferred that in. Choosing to add some emotional reasoning to her hating Kano would make room for audiences to learn more about Sonya's past, her work in the military, and honestly care for her vendetta against Kano. Nope, they don't need to. They literally don't need any of this. This is why these people write articles and not movies. It is important to ask why Sonya needed to show her battle to gain her marker on screen, whereas the other male Earthrealm warriors didn't. They wanted to show that she's a strong woman without the mark, that she wasn't chosen, that she earned it. They literally want to. The other guys, like, they created it by accident. Jax killed a guy that happened to have the mark. Liu Kang killed a guy that happened to have the mark. Cole is born with the mark. Sonya is not only fighting someone that she knows has the mark and knows what it means, but he's manifested his power when she does it. They're literally making a strong woman. That's what they created, as a strong woman. They did it for you. They made her character for you. They even sent you a soy latte with the explanation so you'd fucking get it. Oh my God. They hired a black choir of women to sing it from the hilltops. While Sonya levels up to her energy ring blast powerful self, there's no reason these powers couldn't be on display from the film's start. There's a lot of reasons she didn't have the mark. They wanted her to earn it. They wanted to show that she's one of the characters who would earn it legitimately. And she's the only character we get to see earn it legitimately. They did it because of you. They learned from watching you. One possible fix to the current storyline is to move up when she gets her marker from defeating Kano, which would give her some actual training time and save some of Kano's comedic relief without taking the love-to-hate nemesis totally out of the picture. Oh, here we found the real fucking problem. Here we found the real fucking problem. Thomas Durano, it's not, the buffering's not on my side today. That's on your side or YouTube's. We found the real problem. It's not that Sonya's story wasn't enough. It's that the racist story was too much. That's the problem. They wanted less Kano. He was funny, but a little bit offensive for me. If you had less Kano in this, the movie would have been way worse. Way worse. Another option is to have Sonya's battle happen off screen, as it was done with the male Earthrealm fighters. Audiences don't see how the other warriors receive their markers, so Sonya also shouldn't have to explain her worthiness. Sonya has a background, but they explain it. They tell how each one of them got it. They literally explain it. Sonya has all of them, except Cole, who was born that way, like Lady Gaga. Sonya has a background in special ops, so it stands to reason that she's already faced several fatal battles. Apparently, you're not familiar with women in the military. They actually don't face very many fatal battles. That's not a real thing. No slight to women in the military, by the way, but generally speaking, most of them are not doing spec ops infantry line work. Giving many opportunities for her to receive a marker. If the point of taking Kano's marker was to develop Sonya's character, then a non-sexist way to fix this is to treat everyone the same and not exclude Sonya from the story's greater action. She's literally not excluded from the greater action. With this ensemble cast of Earthrealm warriors, all of their marker stories could have been revealed as they bond together on screen. Oh, yeah, right. The problem is that Sonya doesn't have a dick to put in anyone else's anus while they do that. That's the gayest shit I've ever heard. What the fuck are they talking about? Then audiences learn about who they are by what battles they fought and why. They do this. They literally just tell you what happened. Through the telling, or even through flashbacks of these marker battles, viewers understand what it means to be worthy of a tournament that requires a fatal price to enter. Holy shit. This is one of the worst articles I've ever read in my life. Let's see. Copy. Hey, at CBR. Does CBR stand for cuckoldry before reason? This is the dumbest article I've ever read. Ever. You are shit at storytelling. I hope you go out of business from jerking your coworkers off instead of honing your craft. Eat shit. There we go. There we go. Sorry, I had to get that off my chest. I mean, come on. What? That? I can't take it. I can't take it anymore. God. All right. That's what I've got. That's what I've got for stories and topics tonight. I hope it was adequate. I never know, right? Like, I'm always like in the day, I'm like, man, I hope there's something to talk about. And so I'm like finding stories and shit to talk about all day. So I spend my entire day is finding stuff to talk about. And so you never know. It's like, God, I hope I can fill 3 hours of time. Spoilers are over now, yeah. Yep. Okay. Let me do super chats, wrap up the show. we'll do that, and then I guess we'll go to Twitch and we'll watch a movie tonight. And then maybe we'll do some video gaming tomorrow during the day for Mass Effect. I'm not gonna go for Phil's whole stream because he's doing fundraiser for his mortgage payments because I gotta pay to live. I don't have money coming in. Oh, that Twitter Justice chat. You're right. Let me pull that up. I've seen this a million times. This was in the Discord, but we're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do it anyway. No, Icon, today is movie night. Mass Effect would be during the day on Friday to compete with DSP. Chill out. It's not game night tonight. It's movie night. Isn't it? I think it's movie night. Anyway, whatever. Here we go. I hope you guys are ready.
No.
Oh!
No. No.
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. Let's see. Here we go.
Tactical!
No, what the
Tactical!
I'm trying to... Oh, here we go. This is from Corono in the Discord, by the way. Wanted to share this with you guys.
Tactical nuke incoming!
Just a second.
Plummet, you fools! Plummet, you fools! Plummet, you fools!
What do we have here? This is a different one. I think this is different. It might. I think it's this one's supposed to be different. I got one more.
Plummet, you fools!
The slow-mo kills me every time. Woo! Oh, God. Oh. Imagine someone sits there for that. They're like, yeah, girl. Yeah, girl. Just hit me with that. Hit me with all that. Woo. Woo. Okay. All right. Thank you for reminding me of the Justice chat with the tweet in it. It made me really happy. All right. Bad Dragonite says Adolf was denied power by his professors in the art world, and look where they got everyone. No. He also says, as the local epic YouTube historian, never, ever, 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 ever sign up for a multi-channel network. Oh, excuse me. They're a money funnel and make big promises to growing channels, often with younger creators, and get them to sign away rights and never deliver on any promises. Bad Dragonite says, many multi-channel networks will claim to do things like connect you with bigger names for collabs or to basically deal with your copy strikes for you, but often only ever provide it to their biggest talents, only if even that much, because those talents are a pull. Kidda says, did you see one of the Antifa terrorists that used the pig's head to intimidate the medical expert in the Chauvin trial is a county commissioner? It wasn't the medical expert, actually. It was a use of force expert. Name is Amber Lucas. Andy knows the deets. Government employees intimidating witnesses. John Adams weeps. Deathwish says, I was going to add that flat tax after a certain threshold would work. 35,000 would be more than enough, so we agree. I don't think that it's necessary to have the threshold, but I can see the argument anyway. Robute Gilliman says, if me or my dad was in the government, could they run it competently since they specialize in admin stuff regarding taxes as well as other stuff? No. Robute is a tyrant. So is the emperor. This is the joke. Deathwish says, rackets. I'm the single biggest Mass Effect fanboy of all time. I even like Andromeda playing a lesbian who likes the science. Play it. That one guy says, FYI to that stupid fucking union communist. The unions also gave us the mob, so worth it? Plus, the 8-hour workday was probably to force employers to hire more workers, not improve conditions. Pay increases and schedule choice would have done that. Moron. Bad Dragonite says, just a heads up on Mass Effect Nick. The first one is known to get a bit slow in some parts with a bunch of talking. Second and third games were more action-y. Still a good game, just letting you know what to expect. I expect garbage. That's what I expect. That one guy says, I'd say the couple 100 million dead we've wasted on Marxian authoritarianism pretty much makes us even for your stupid fucking 8-hour workday and any other shit you want to make up to take credit for. Spread eagle, climb up into your own anus and choke on it. Joseph Kerwin, I missed this one. Sorry, Joseph, says, those aren't really the American Idol ladies' hips. They're two pigs fighting under a blanket. I love to eat pigs in a blanket, man. So good. Bad Dragonite says, I've watched American Idol a bit when I was a kid when it was new, but also in modern day I've watched some only because I know one of the winners IRL. Cool. Who do you know? Bad Dragonite says, also you're not wrong, Nick. The winner really doesn't win. Sad to say, but the one I know is they haven't been relevant since the competition they were in. They literally have less than 1/5 the subs that you do on YouTube, and they were on national TV. Damn. Is it David Archuleta? Is that the person you know IRL? That'd be interesting. Let's see. Joe Hitler Biden says the rule is now simple. Raise your arm and say Sieg Heil or get imprisoned and tortured until you do. The choice is yours. Kim Jong Biden says the rule is now simple. Praise and swear unswerving loyalty to the party and the dear leader or get tortured and die. The choice is yours. Next. Oh, you're right. It is game night tonight. Fuck me. I guess it's Cuck Souls tonight. Viden the Cold One says, everyone I know who's used an MCN MCM has deeply regretted it. ReoFX says, just ask Ross Scott how being part of a YouTube team worked out for him. Spoiler, it ended badly. Vine the Cold One says, I spent $100 for that piece of art you saw in Locals, and I feel like I got my money's worth. Okay. Debate me on a flat tax. Good luck to you. You will need it. What? Your debate is that a progressive tax is better? Oh, Jesus Christ. That's terrible. How about all tax is bad? The Dragon's Treasure says, I now manage all of Arcada Media. From here on out, Nick will give me half his earnings. Trust me, it'll work. Ebony Williams says, I've been watching you off and on for the past month and have officially subscribed to you. Great commentary and devilishly witty. Hey, thank you, Ebony Williams. May I offend you at some point in the future. Oh, no. No. Oh, God. What's going on? No, no, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. It's terrible. Tamara Holloway says, got gas at $3.99 per gallon this AM. Went by same place tonight, and it's $4.07 for the cheapest. Lowe's wood prices tripled in a month or so. Yay, Bide Eris. Yay, Bide Eris. Viden the Cold One says, by the way, Baka decided to stop playing Cuck Souls. She was losing sleep over it. Sneed 1, Baka 0. Stacy is too powerful. Automata says, you going to cover the New York Times Veritas response? Yes. Also, the New York Times has now done an expose on Project Veritas, saying that Project Veritas infiltrated and intimidated like the FBI or something. Have you guys seen that shit? Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow, or I might do a short video on it. New York Times is pulling the gloves off on Project Veritas, and we'll see what happens with that shit. Wolfgang Deo says, because of Ranting Monkey, I finally got a Steam account and got 7 Days to Die. And of course, Cuck Sim. Ask Multi-Channel Network for me. Balls or no balls on Futa. Wick Dipper says, just caught your appearance on Friday Night Tights. That intro with you as Predator in shorts with Tarzan boy music, then purring for Chat Coon was epic. Yeah, that was a while back. I love going on Friday Night Tights. I can't wait to go on again. Those guys are all funny. I like all of them. Todd Kingsdale says, with tension so high, gun confiscation bound to happen, and Biden acting like a tyrant, do you think civil war is imminent? No. No. I will forever be on the side that civil war is not imminent until I'm wrong. And I may be wrong, but so far I don't think so. P Mushroom says, hey, Nick, what about a reality TV show where they make illegals capture maps and earn their citizenship? Call it Aliens versus Predators. Yes. Yes. 100%. Lolly Patrol Unit says, I'm taking the Newsom check and still voting him out. Good. Good. Austin Hartless says, I'm in the mindset if you don't work or produce something that people want to pay for, you don't deserve pay. Shit. Amateur Ant says, welcome to the USSA or the USCP, United Socialist States of America, or the United States of the Communist Party. Damn. Anime Moon says, flip the establishment. It's time to end the party. Lone Wolf Ranger says, look up Hawley's role in certain page scandal from the W era. In a page? Oh, okay. I don't really care about Hawley. I just think that anybody who's got people regretting creating the Sith Lord that they made, that's great. Not So Handsome Jack says, this mean you'll become a titty streamer? Nip rub? It's a matter of time, buddy. It's the rule of the internet. You doing your thing, you're going fine, then everything goes to hell, and then tits out for Harambe. Nick Naylor says, no flat sales tax. That way hookers and drug dealers pay. I actually agree that flat sales tax is literally the way to go. I think it's literally the way to go. But that's me. Russell Wallace Warren says, USA. Scotty Rampage says, say it, don't spray it. Don't tell me what to do. Austin Hartless says, I'm at work 11 hours a day. That wouldn't happen if I worked at a union shop, and I wouldn't be making a ton of overtime pay either. F unions. Wig Dipper says, rants pay good money. Dixon Cunt says, if it wasn't for Hammurabi, they'd never be a law and you wouldn't be a lawyer. Yes, there you go. Cray Slayer says, there are pics of light bulbs in the pyramids. Eddie only reinvented it. Andrew Shaver says, I share your thoughts, Nick. Unions are one of the worst things to happen to free market labor ever. Dixon Cunt says, put on the goddamn vest. Nope. Hell nope. Says, you've never played Mass Effect? Fix it. Buy the whole trilogy. Right meow. Cray Slayer says they probably had 8-hour work days too. Again, going back to Egypt, I think. Andrew Haskins says in Kermit voice, join the union so the union rep can sell you out to your employer and make the money you would have even if you weren't in union, dummies. Yeah, I've not ever seen the benefit of a union. Unless you're a bad employee, then unions are great. One of my friends worked for UPS, and this is the most based and red-pilled union thing I've ever seen. He got in a fist fight with his supervisor, who was non-union, and they both got fired, but the union got him hired back and got him his supervisor's job. That is the only time unions have ever been good ever. Dovin Death says he may be Mexican, but at least he's not a black woman. Damn. Ryan79 says, what's wrong with Taco John's? Nothing. They just hate Mexicans. Automata says, best part, like lots of people do. So I don't, whatever. Automata says, best part is the officer bought his own body camera to protect himself because the department doesn't currently have them. Good. Lolly, Sprite Cola says, I wonder if that teacher is guilty of projection. Wonder who she voted for. And David Gunther says, can you give us a vocal performance? No to that. But thank you for sending in the super chats. I'm sorry I missed them earlier. I should have caught those, but I was in the middle of screaming, so I missed it. Whoa! Amateur Anth, what are you doing? With a giant super chat. Holy shit. Comicsgate usually means great art or okay to crap writing, or great writing to okay or great art. Don't really matter because it's dying from most every book being late. And now with hyperinflation, yikes. Good luck. $25 will be $50. Almost nobody will pay that. Comics are dead. Japan and manga is the future. Man, I'm seeing a lot of, I'm not following Comicsgate in particular, but I am seeing a lot of chatter about Comicsgate when I browse like Kiwi Farms and other stuff. And there's some real stuff happening right now. It's wild. It's wild. Lolly Patrol Unit says, by the way, Amateur Ant, thank you for the giant donation. You didn't have to do that, but I appreciate that you did very much. Lolly Patrol Unit says, that lady just laid a revelation that has shaken my very core. No one important says, let this be a lesson for you, chat. Karens come in all colors and shapes, but in the end, they're all annoying, uptight, hypocrites. Mike Hunt says, in Australia, I saw a cop yank cell phone out of a woman's hand after pulling her over and toss it in the bush because she refused to put it down. Amateur Ant says, unfortunately, I had to pay $300 for that. Why did you have to? I don't even own a vest. I can't even put one on. I got a hoodie. That's it. Tamara Holloway says, as an Oreo. No. Anything good, law and order, education, basic human decency is white. Therefore, I'm a self-hating racist to propel to people like that teacher. CJ says, liar, it's so real, just like that 8-foot waist OnlyFans chick you and Drex looked up. That was so gross, man. That was so gross. Dixon Cunt says, Dems baby making hips passed around the hood like a family-sized bucket of KFC chicken. Oh, you ain't right. The Denialist says, I believe that's what they call thick. Tamara Holloway says, no kidding, my cuz is built like that lady idol. Dude, that's so wild to me. She goes like this. Bam! It's weird. Not attractive at all to me. I know some dudes are into it. David Edwards says, glorious rant about unions, so here's money. A invented X, so no A means no X, is the product of the smoothest of brains. Serial Foxy says, it is a ghost. Time to cancel death and the dead. No one important says, a kid got canceled over a 2-second TikTok joke. Is comedy dead? Yes. Yes, comedy is dead. That is true. Is society just that soft? Yes. Yes, softer than a soy boy's penis. This kind of killed me a little inside. Yeah, dude. No, it's literally that bad. Tebe Cosplay says, I need a guy, buddy. Timothy Reaper says, Nick Ricada destroys unions with facts and logic. Oh, no. Pupperoni says, I need a guy and Buttfucker 3000 need to get together. I want to join my next court hearing with Buttfucker 3000 as my name. Juan Cena says, Ricada for president 2024. He knows how to lead the nation. Dixon Cunt says, should have gone with the Kevin Spacey defense. I choose now to live as a gay man. Well, and killed your accuser. And probably the guy in the video. Samurai Knight says, Mortal Kombat did okay, but not as well as Demon Slayer. Mike Hunt says, Mortal Kombat 9 is the last good one. After that, the women have no boobs and they cover their skin. However, you can see inside their bodies. Remember, violence is good. Beauty is evil. Angry Baneling, EVS is welcome on whenever. It's just always a matter of, like, he's a busy guy and having a topic to talk about. By the way, I think I'm going to have Robert Grueller on next week, and I've invited Adam Krigler on the show, working on some more guests as well. So stay tuned for that stuff. I was supposed to mention that earlier, but I forgot. Amateur Ant says, Nick, wait until the woke white go after American History X. Shadow Goff says, hearing the black woman nonsense. Security! Mike Hunt says, please get Dick to do a dictation on They Live. Dick and I are going to do a dictation on Starship Troopers as soon as California's open and I can go visit him. Mike Hunt says, Jax didn't get metal arms until Mortal Kombat 3. Dumb. Mike Hunt says, Cole Young's power was literal plot armor. Ha ha ha. The Gentleman Sausage says, you're missing the point by suggesting they're missing the point because missing the point is the point. It's bad on purpose, so you'll click. Yeah, that's true. You got me. You right. Amateur Ant says, Kung Lao fatality is giving Sonya the sweet and sour sniffles. Trainer Red says, hey, remember that cool training that Goku did running down Snake Way and on King Kai's planet and in the spaceship and on the way to Namek? Asked no one ever. The only training in DBZ that I remember, because it was funny, was when Vegeta's like, turn the gravity up to 400%. Or 400 times Earth or whatever. And then he's doing the one finger handstand push-ups in 400 times Earth's gravity to get to Super Saiyan. That's the only time I've ever thought that training was funny in any show ever. Delacorte says, if any of these journalisming cum stains actually wrote movies, Hollywood would be bankrupt in a week. Look, to be fair, Hollywood should already be bankrupt. Apex Autist says, stop it. She's already dead. Tamara Holloway says, feminists believe the best women are men. First, it was into men's workplaces, shoulder pads in the 80s, femme-trans, but Bruce Lynn was Woman of the Year. Longreach Jones says, went and saw Mortal Kombat. Kano and Cole were practically the only two characters with personalities beyond canned lines. Texas Red says, it's game night tonight. Cuck Sim was on Tuesday. I guess I got to try the new Cuck Souls patch. We'll try that out. Almond John 1 says, where you get the vid of the girl sitting on the black guy. From the Discord, man. If you want into the Discord, you got to join on Locals. RecadeLaw.locals.com. All sorts of funny shit happens in the Discord all the time. Uy 99 says, I vote we do movie night tonight because 1, you skipped it last night, and 2, you'll likely be streaming games tomorrow. Anyhow, who's with me? Sorry, I just got the schedule mixed up. Thursday's game night. Almond John 1 says, on episode 4 of watching you play Phoenix Wright, I'm Lamau. Hope you enjoy it. I don't think there'll ever be another Phoenix Wright episode. Sam Harris says, why did the Biden administration say that the Colonial Pipeline hack was a private issue and did not want to get involved, even though it was an attack on our infrastructure? Because they wanted to pass Biden's executive order. That's why. They want you to suffer. When you suffer and hurt, you excuse the government's remedies. Like without any hint of irony, that's what happens. When you suffer and hurt, you don't question the government's remedies because people need the help. And if they're not questioning the remedies, they're not questioning what's in them. It's how the Patriot Act worked. Patriot Act was passed in the wake of September 11th. It's one of the worst and most egregious impacts on freedom that we've had in an entire generation. And everybody at the time was okay with it because Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda. Thick Anime Thighs says, have some cash, Nick. Oh, thank you. Longreach Jones says, buy a vest made from a real gorilla chest. They come with loafers made from gophers. Yes, they do. And then Ash B says, buy Dogecoin dummies. I am actually not giving financial advice on buying any cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is extremely risky, and YouTube will shut you down if you endorse it. So take everything I say with that into consideration. Finally, we got a couple more. Matt the Bee says, last chance to look up the gay punk trash can lid copy cap kid before you forget again. And I have to send you more money to remind you. The best part was that his reveal made people think he was replacing crap comic cap, who is, well, crap, but still. I'm not going to look it up tonight because I'm going to look it up with Drexel on the show tomorrow. How's that? How's that? Angry Baneling says, yeah, if you could just go ahead and do a watch party tonight, that'd be great. In fact, movie night today to compensate for the skip movie night yesterday, and then movie night tomorrow night again because it's naturally a movie night. Friday is not naturally a movie night. Friday night's a switch night. But that being said, Baneling used to be like, oh, movie nights are lame. You should only do game nights. Now Baneling is a cuck to his own opinions. Dragon Master says, when people keep talking about a new civil war, I don't think they're taking into account what a civil war would look like today. It wouldn't be North versus South. It would be state versus state, city versus city, neighbor versus neighbor. It'd be total chaos. Yeah, I liken it to, if you guys remember when that Trump supporter was just executed in the Chaz or whatever, they're like, oh, that's the guy, and someone walked up and just pop right in the back of the head. That's what it would look like. You say we poll movie night versus game night? Well, okay. I can do that while I go get food. Bob Costa says, I'm a financial advisor, a lawyer, and a doctor. Buy Electra ECA, a.k.a. the next Dogecoin. Again, I have to say it. This is not financial advice. Cryptocurrency is very risky. Don't buy anything ever, ever. The Marshallist says, hey, Nick, you look tired. Get some sleep. I am tired. I woke up at 9:30 this morning after going to sleep at like 5:30 last night. So. Deathwish, I am literally a pro video game player, though. So, yes, is the answer. But, Thick Anime Thighs says, the next civil war will likely be similar to the troubles in Northern Ireland. What a mess. What a mess. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Let's get this outro playing. Pop over to Twitch. We will see if democracy works. We'll have a poll and figure out what to do. Hope to see you guys over there. Have a good night. Peace. Peace. Amateur Ant says, can't wait for Caitlyn Jenner to oust Newsom for the lulz. Oh, Jesus. I usually do the super chats when I'm drunk. I'm rich, butches. Me too, buddy. Me too. All right, guys. Have a good night. Peace. Peace.
Oh, he drinks a fair bit, but you realize that it just helps get his noggin jogging along. With his glass by his side and his kids asleep tight, we'll hear some law-splaining tonight. With his microphone muted, we'll laugh at this boomer until he explains it's all part of the plan. Watch his face become redder as he becomes meta, raging at idiots from Twitterland. From the white shores of Maine to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, his lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an Ardbeg, a Balmore, a Lafroig. The spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear law-splaining tonight. From the white shores of Nan to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we are now. Oh, the guests are all planet folks from Doug T to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. Spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear law-splaining tonight. From the white shores of Nan to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed